Yeah. Jesus. And I'm so low on ammo. Stuff out here was in like the 80s. Oops. Just let me know if you want to hang out, man. I'm chilling. Either way. You still playing Final Fantasy XI right now? Or are you playing it? Okay, yeah. I'll be in just a moment. Very cool. It's taken care of. For no reason other than to assure my own safety.
No.
What's up, man?
I'm just doing some reading for schoolwork.
Reading for bulwark. Got him.
Yeah. Yeah, just asked Andrew when he was going to be on, and he said 12-ish.
Yikes.
Because Carlos was like, oh, you can start it as soon as I get home, and I'm like, well, you know, Andrew has been getting on late, and he's like, ah, gotcha.
I bought the Quiet Place game today because I was very interested in it.
Let me know how it is. I probably won't get it, but you know.
Oh yeah, I get it. So did you? Oh yeah, you said you hated the movie because
Yeah.
your tummy was growling.
You don't like the movie?
I went to watch the first one, but like it was so quiet and I was already
Oh,
like
well.
starving and
Oh.
so my stomach was growling the whole time in the theater and that was completely silent and I got super paranoid and just had a bad time and that left a bad impression of the movie as a whole.
Not everything you love.
Yeah, basically.
What the man? I didn't hear you in for months. Fuck! Got stream mode on. So, that's like
The movies are okay. I think the second one was.
too much. Like they should have stopped at the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
That was the vibe it gave me.
I mean, when I saw when I saw that they were making a second one, I was like, oh, I thought it was just a
Well,
one-off because it just
yeah.
felt.
I think it was like, you know, it was a hit because it was a cool concept. And they're like, well, let's give it lore. So that's what they did.
I think the story is cool, and I haven't seen the new one, the day one, which I thought the scene on. I think the scene from the beginning. Of
Oh
the
no
second
no,
one,
you're right. There are 3 of them now, aren't
yeah,
there?
there is it's
There's a
on like
third?
Amazon now.
The
You
third
can,
one,
like,
the third one is the one that gives the background. That's like the lore,
yeah,
like
but
when they first.
the second one starts off on day one from his family's point of view. This
Yeah,
new one
yeah.
this new one's like a whole separate family. It's like a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
separate
yeah.
story.
Hmm.
But I think the beginning of the second one, like that scene of like it starting, is one of the best like sequences or whatever I've seen in a long time. It was actually terrifying.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm like, whatever. It's okay. I think the ending of it, like with the islands. Have you seen it? I don't want to spoil anything.
I haven't seen it, but I don't plan on seeing it anytime soon.
Like
Well,
I said,
they like find like a safe haven,
Yeah.
like on an island across the water. But of course, they somehow they reach it, you know, suddenly somehow. And it, you know, it all goes to shit. So it's just like, it's one of those. It's not cheap writing, but it's like moving the plot forward for the sake of the movie, not for the sake of the actual story being told. Like, there's no reason that they should have been able to reach that island if they did, but they did.
Yeah.
Because it made for a great like twist.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh wait, you saying like the aliens made it to the island and that was?
Yeah, dude. Like they find out pretty quickly that like they can't swim. That's like one of their other weaknesses. So.
But just to be
Because-
spooky, they were there already.
Well, I think I remember right. Like they take a boat to like, you know, get over to the island, which is like a safe haven. I can't remember if it's in the first one or the second one, but at some point they like discover like a radio signal.
that's the first. That's the end of the first one.
Well, they discover a radio signal that's like a code, and they decipher it finally. And it's like a message saying, "Hey, we're safe here. If you can like, you know, if you can hear us, come here. It's safe." And that's the island, and then, like it is, like it's actually like a paradise. Like I mean, it's not paradise, but like it's good. And so the boat they take, one of the things snuck aboard, and like which makes no sense to me because like it implies that they're able to like resist, you know, like murdering constantly. Like, they make them out to be like mindless creatures who just react instinctively to sound or whatever. And you're telling me that this one can like somehow get in a boat undetected and remain
like
quiet for how long
hyper-evolving
it
now.
took. Yeah, it's just it was a little too much convenient like story like plot, but it was still good. It just wasn't what I wish it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
No, you're good.
I'll finish your thing and I'll finish mine.
I really do think that what's his name, John, the guy,
Krasinski.
whatever his name is, John. I think he honestly carried it. I love it. I think he's a great actor when he does it right. Like, he's hit or miss for me, but when he does like I like him in drama a lot.
He's also an
serious
incredible
actor.
voice actor. I didn't know this, but he has a couple of voice roles and things that I've like seen. I can't remember offhand because he's that good. Like he doesn't sound like himself.
I didn't know he voice acted.
Yeah, he does do a couple of voice roles.
I think he's one of the better like long-term results of The Office. Like I think he's had one of the more successful careers in acting out of all of them.
And what's his face was already successful before it. Michael Scott's character.
Oh well, yeah, but I mean, he's like legacy, like you know,
Yeah.
he would
He-
have been. You know, that's not totally true though. He wasn't exactly popular
I
until
guess
like
The
the
Office is
like
pretty old. I guess it's a lot older than I was thinking
yeah,
about.
he was in like
40-year-old
Anchorman.
virgin.
I think Anchorman was his big breakout movie. Was his role
I,
in
I heard a
Anchorman.
lot of I heard a lot about the 40-year-old virgin.
That came out. I think Anchorman came first, and then after
Really?
that, I think I might
I
be wrong.
I watched Anchorman really
If
late.
you go back and watch those movies, I've rewatched like a bunch of those old movies recently, and like I realize now, like, cause I didn't watch The Office when I was a kid when it was like airing and stuff.
Yeah.
All those movies are like as the same group of like 20 actors just
Yeah, yeah.
doing fun movies together.
Yeah.
There's like a time where like the Anchorman movie and like 40-Year-Old Virgin, all those movies are literally the same cast. It's all the same people.
Yeah.
Let's see. The 40-Year-Old Virgin came out in 2005. Anchorman.
Yeah, bro, you got enough locks on this box? Shit.
Anchorman came out in 2004. Oh yes, Anchorman was first. Yeah, by like a year. Yeah, and he was like a hilarious character in that movie. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but
I have
his
it.
role, yeah, his role's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
he's
haven't
like the
seen
guy.
it, but a lot of people talk about it.
He's like the. He's just
He
always.
plays
He's trying to
like a-
tag along, but he always says like the most out of pocket shit. Like trying to.
Yeah, he's
trying to be
he's
a yes
mentally,
man.
like he's mentally impaired. Like that's his like character, but they don't know that. They just think he's dumb.
Yeah.
And he's also like the sports or news man, one of those two on the weather, like on the weather channel.
It's pretty
And he just like blurts out random crap. He
I
just
will.
can't,
I
like,
will say.
stop.
I don't think Anchorman's super memorable, but it is funny.
I think Anchorman 2 is way more memorable, but just because of the one scene where like all the other anchor groups, like all the other weathermen groups come together, and there's like that they did like a weatherman like brawl in New York City, and there must be 50 famous actors in that scene, like out of nowhere. Did they just come in and all fight each other, like super gory and violent out of nowhere? And it's like kind of like a meme kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think they're okay. I mean, like, there's stupid 2000 movies. You know, they're not like meant to be like, you know, winning awards, which I'm sure they did, but they weren't like trying to change anything. They were just silly movies.
No, I mean there are some Will
Yeah.
Ferrell movies I love, but like the Anchorman just wasn't memorable. I don't know, and like I just don't remember a lot of lines from it. Not that it's bad or anything at all.
It has some pretty good jokes in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't like. It's not one that I go back and watch every year, you know. But it is one that like if it's on, I might sit down and watch it. You know, like I'm not gonna
Sneak a
like
peek.
be upset. My favorite Will Ferrell movie, there's like a couple. I like his serious roles a lot.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the name of this now, but there's one movie where he starts hearing someone narrate his
Yeah,
life.
yeah, that's what I
Um,
was gonna say.
That one's really, really good actually,
Yeah.
because it's like, it's just so like out of
It's a
nowhere
really
for
cool
him.
concept. I like.
Yeah, and then there was one where he like I can't remember the name of this either. It's more recent, but he's like selling everything. He's having like a yard sale in his front yard because his wife kicked him out of his house and like put all his possessions outside. So he just like sets up a yard sale right then and there and like tries to sell everything off because he's like, you know, midlife crisis kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's another like it's not super serious, but it's a little more serious, I guess. And it was pretty good actually. It's on, I think it's called Everything Must Go. I think it's
Oh
on
yeah,
Netflix.
yeah. I've heard of that one.
It's pretty good. He's a really hit or miss for me too. Like, you know, actually, my favorite Will Ferrell movie, I can't remember the name of it because it's in Spanish, but he did like an entire movie in Spanish.
I heard
Um,
about that.
And it's like a kind of like a not like old western style, but kind of like old western like cheap style, like silly cheap. And he doesn't speak Spanish, but he like had someone tutor him to just like ad lib it, like, you know, speak it as well as he could.
Mhm.
And it's actually super good. It's like a super good movie.
Is it a comedy though?
It's a super funny movie, yeah. But it's
Okay.
like
I just didn't know.
he's like in a, I can't remember exactly what the family is. They're like ranchers in Mexico, like a horse ranch. And I think he's like, I watched it one time with Cynthia and like at 2 a.m. in the morning. We didn't know what it was. And we ended up laughing so hard. It was so funny, dude. And he speaks, you would think he was like fluent in Spanish, but he's not. He's that good of an actor. He was able to just read a script and get it down right. It was really good. It's definitely worth watching. It's really funny.
But it is on Netflix.
I don't remember. Let me look it up because it was a few years ago, like a couple years ago now.
1 year they've been watching me. So many pills they fed me. The loud hour comes.
Oh yeah. It's Casa de mi Padre, so it's House of My Father, and
Oh, I think I did see
um,
that like once.
it didn't get like stellar reviews, but I think it's just impressive. I think it's an impressive, silly movie that he did. Let's see. It says it's on Amazon. Let me see if it's actually if I just rented. Oh, it's unavailable to watch in my location. Ugh. Parents ended up buying it to watch it. Dang. Well, if it's ever on something, it's worth watching. It's really funny. There's like one scene where it's like they're making fun of like a bunch of like old classic Western movies the whole time.
Yeah.
And there's like a climax where it's like a big shootout scene between the two groups of people, and they're just like shooting forever. Like, cause like you know in Black Mirror, like sure the person shoot and then they try and they always miss, and they do that for like 10 minutes with no one hitting.
Oh my god.
You know, I don't know if I like how many hits it takes to kill these nurses. I
Dude,
feel like it's too
well,
many.
yeah, it is.
Like I was watching you earlier, and there was one point where you were like curb stomping the dude like 10 times.
I do that just to make sure, man, because they will get
I
up.
know. It's just kind of crazy. Like imagine.
I am
like,
playing on hard
random
though.
dude. Oh, alright, okay.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense then.
Yeah. Imagine just being like some random dude and having to like resort to this out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, curb stomping someone.
Well, again,
And
it is.
I know he has like horseshoes for like the upper body, but like it's still terrible. It's still like trauma.
No, I mean, yeah. Having to put enough force into your, like,
Actually,
you know,
like
to kill something to make sure
Yeah,
something's dead. Yeah.
that's not easy. Like
That's
movies
a
make it look so
traumatic.
easy, but that's not a.
No. It's not something we're supposed to do, you know.
Yeah. My biggest pet peeve in the action is where someone breaks someone's neck and like over the wrist.
Yeah.
When that's like actually impossible. Like it's so hard. And it's just like movies do it because it's always like a movie trope.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
like
Just
the
sneaking
same
up behind
idea
somebody
of,
going.
Oh
Or,
yeah,
like,
like the
people,
really
like,
quick
smashing beer
one where
bottles.
the
like smashing a bottle in someone's head.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's like a movie trope, but that like straight up will kill you in real life. It's like solid glass, you know. It's just like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to find good action movies these days. I don't even like action movies really, but
I saw a scene from John Wick where he stuffs a book in somebody's mouth and he just keeps punching it over and over, and I'm like, that's stupid.
I liked John Wick just because of how over the top it was. But that's the point of John Wick, right?
Yeah.
It's meant to be silly, like not silly maybe, but like it's
Super actiony. Yeah.
super actiony, super choreographed, super over the top. You know, he's invincible more or less.
All
He's
for a
against- you know,
dog.
it's- yeah, I mean it's not, but you know, like it's a funny. It's I watch those movies in like a non-serious way. And they're fun. They're fun. That's how I would describe them.
Yeah.
They're mindless fun.
The only action movie I had interest in was that one that was first person. It was like the Henry Danger, or whatever it was, something like that, right? No, Henry Danger's like a fucking game, isn't it?
I know what you're talking about though.
It was like a first person shooter, but it was like a movie. It looked pretty sick. It was like back when GoPros first came out, but it was like a big studio production.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that now. I just don't remember what it's called. I never saw it.
Dude was like doing free
I
running
know.
on rooftops and shit. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, but I feel like it'd be hard to watch as like a.
I guess for people who
Just
get
like
like motion
viewer.
sick or whatever, but I don't.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff never bothered me.
Like Cynthia gets motion sickness watching me play games sometimes. Like I play Warframe and it's like parkour all the time, and she
Yeah.
gets motion sickness from that, and it's like not even that bad really.
Yeah,
I just
weak. Beat her up, dude.
on a side note, I want to say I want to try out the Warframe 1999 demo that they
I played-
just
So
came
is it
out
a
with.
separate game? I thought it was an expansion.
No, it's
No,
within Warframe.
I just played the demo. It's really good.
It
I
looks
love it.
really good.
Yeah.
So 1999. I don't want to spoil it. I play Warframe.
No, I don't. I have before, but I mean, like, I didn't get far in the story. I just
The
played it
story
for
is
fun.
crazy. Like you should play it for this lore. Like You can get through the game's like story missions and stuff like within a week if you really push it. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
You
you
And it's
just
a
just
unlocked
crazy
the
bro.
new
story.
Warframe that came out, Kome.
I haven't done the newest quest that involves the Lotus, but I just spent like all week last week grinding out the chorus one, the one from the Jade mission,
Yeah.
the Ascension mission. I got really unlucky. Took me like I don't know how many runs I did. I did end up buying most of the different pieces, but that mission was actually pretty good. Like with the stalkers, I thought that was a pretty
Yeah, bitch.
cool glimpse into seeing like the stalkers past, and they're definitely setting up something major with him, with the child, and getting to like name it yourself and all that. Like they're definitely setting something up with the stalker long term. But yeah, the whole thing with 1999 is there's like this thing called the void, and it's when you were a child, your like ship full of like civilians gets trapped in the void, and you get like corrupted in the void, like everyone does. And there's this thing called the Lotus that actually like saves you and some other children. And these are the children who eventually become like
You know.
vessels for the warframes. Yeah, it's but you don't expect it, but that's what it is. Like for the first like few years of the game, we just assumed that the warframes were like you were just like in a suit.
Yeah.
The idea that we were actually like a child in there was not part of the game. Eventually it's
Oh.
it's such a good quest actually. And all their quests are super cinematic. They're like super story driven. But there's like a whole bunch. There's so much going on. But basically 1999 is going back and kind of setting up everything to show like exactly why things are the way they are. Because as far as I can tell, the 1999 missions, like that version of Earth, is basically our Earth. Like it's not like a sci-fi version. It's just Earth. And somehow we get to this point where like the Warframe
Yeah, I
exists
didn't
and
even know
stuff.
Tennos were people. I thought that was like, I thought they're an alien race.
Yeah, it's a
Plus, I
crazy
mean,
crazy story.
you get to play as Jetstream Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's a
the
one for
demo
one
wasn't like
copy.
crazy. Like the demo was just like a cool like it was really just more about the map being shown off, like the
Hmm.
actual tile set, and it looked really great. And like you're basically playing Excalibur. Like you're playing who became Excalibur in my head. I guess is how it works. Because like
Oh,
all
that
the
makes sense.
because all the Warframes like that you play as at one point were like actual heroes in history.
Yeah,
And
they
like
go over that a lot with the Kome one, because they're like, yeah, she used to be the legendary hero who saved this place, and now.
yeah, they're like folk heroes. And they were like military heroes and stuff. And the Warframes are kind of like I don't know what to call them. They're like they're like I don't know, like not a vessel, but they
It's like
like
if Fate became Warframe.
yeah, I don't know how to describe it to someone who hasn't played it though. Like they're not like it's not like their like body. It's like the armor they wore, but not all of them wore armor. But like the armor represents like Excalibur was just like a human who it's called Excalibur. But there's an Excalibur Warframe, which is just like a suit that represents Excalibur. That's all it is. Like it's hard to describe, but yeah, they're all heroes of the past and stuff. It's really crazy. It's worth playing, honestly. I've put so many hours in Warframe, hundreds and probably thousands. It's one of my big games. This is definitely one that I keep going back to all
It's
the
an
time.
on and off game for me.
Yeah, I mean that's how it's meant to be played. Like you aren't meant to sit there and grind it out 24/7. Yeah.
That's
It's also
Tyler.
there's also like a whole subsection of the game where like you build like a spaceship.
Yeah, I like
and,
that part. That's the only thing that has my interest.
And it has like
I mean, I do like the fast-paced combat, but I don't really care for the grind.
yeah, I mean like but like and this is totally like it's totally optional. Like you don't even have to
No, that's yeah, that's the thing. I like that. That's my favorite part.
but I have put so much time into the Railjack missions because like the actual space combat is it's like the best I've ever played. Like it's so fun, and you can like fill your crew with like AI people if you want. But you can also obviously bring your friends with you, and they can like actually man the turrets and stuff.
I didn't
But
know that was cool.
it's
There's
like,
a lot going on in Railjack missions, though,
It
and you
is.
gotta leave the ship to go do stuff, and while other people are
Yeah,
still
there's
guarding
like
the ship, and
you have your space combat with like its objectives, and then like eventually like it peaks and like you have to leave your ship and like board an enemy ship and like destroy it from the inside. And usually that's like a standard game mode. Like you might board a ship and play a defense mission or an elimination mission, and then you go back to your ship and it's over. It's
Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay.
you know,
I
it's
love
spooky month. They have a really nice horror mission.
Oh yeah.
oh
me.
yeah. Oh, you could. That would be a good mission. That is the creepiest character in any game I've ever played. I hate that he follows me around randomly.
Who is it?
I love it though. I don't want to spoil it, but there's like a, you know how I told you like you got like stuck in the void and you
Yep.
interrupted. There's like multiple versions of yourself that exist. There's like an old version of you that never escaped the void until he was much older, and there's a version of there's you who got out early, so you're like totally lost. There's a version who gets out later, but was like in a different reality, stuck in a different reality, and then there's a version that never left, and eventually you find him, and he like just pops up randomly in your game, just randomly, and he has like the creepiest voice. He'll just like be sitting on top of your like mission control, just like laughing at you, like randomly in the middle of the game. It might happen once a day or it might happen once a year. It's totally random and it's always creepy when it happens.
Is it a series of missions or just like one mission?
It's like a quest
he's
line.
recurring.
Oh,
Yeah, there's like a main quest for him, but he also is like a recurring character now. But for the longest time, he was kind of like a,
like one of those
and it
hidden
kind of still,
things.
it's kind of still like, is he even real or are we just going insane kind of thing? I don't think we actually know yet. I think we're still kind of unsure if he actually exists. It's also one of those games that's like slow, like the quests come out like maybe once a year, so it's kind of hard to remember everything. But you could easily play through the entire main story in like a week or two of like pushing it. It's not that bad. The most recent like big quest, I think it's called the Red War. Is that the big one that came out recently, or the Old War or something?
I think
Where you
so.
play like where you like play as the Grenadier dude at the beginning. It was like a huge cinematic quest. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
I can't remember. That was a while back.
Yeah, I think it was called the New War. It's like a 2 or 3 hour long quest, and like it's like 2 or 3 hours long, and the entire thing is cinematic. It's like you're watching a movie. It was crazy. It was
That's
so
Final
good.
Fantasy.
Better,
guns.
honestly. It was better.
Whoa. Alex, you gonna take that, dude?
Hold on now.
It was better.
Alright, let's see. I need, what is
It
my
was better.
combination? The first thing I did was one. I did two.
You know, I thought it would take longer. I've done all of my assignments except for my project.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You talk about your classes, like school.
yeah,
How's that going?
awful.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I just don't understand Java for the life of me.
Are you talking like normal Java or JavaScript?
No, Java. He's
Okay.
doing cybersecurity stuff, so he's getting into.
I've messed with like Java for like Minecraft modding and like plugins and stuff for games, but
Shit.
it's not my favorite language. Honestly, it's a little. There's so many like extra steps for some things you have to do compared to C#.
They made me do Python first, which Python was fine, had no issues
Yeah,
with that.
Python is very like
User-friendly.
straightforward.
And then they were like, all right, now onto Java. And I could not grasp it. I failed the class, so this is my second time around.
Oh really?
And I'm
Okay.
just barely making it because I still don't understand it.
Well, of course you like. I mean, like the concept should transfer from language to language.
No, his
like-
Python class was kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's also just online classes that are, hey, read this, and it does not explain it very super well. It explains it, but not in a way that
Do
really
you have an example,
sticks.
like of like something recent that you can like give me an example of? I'm just curious. That sucks, dude. I hate that for you.
I mean, it might. I'll see if I can find like just some examples. It might just be me, like,
No,
Well,
I think it's your classes because
I've heard of a lot of people going through like intro college courses for like computer science, and it's awful. Like what ends up happening is they teach them like the very bare minimum and like a language, and then they swap to another language and do the same thing, and then
yeah,
they just do
that's what
that
they
thing.
do. You get
And then
8 weeks to learn,
yeah,
and then
one of my friends did like a 2-year degree in that, like in computer science, like a associate's, and all he did was go from language to language, learning the very basics of each, which is pointless. I
yeah,
mean, like it's not pointless, but like it's long term, it's kind of pointless because the concepts are the same everywhere. Well, to an extent, like if it's object oriented, then yeah, it's gonna be the same. Like if you go back to like C plus or like C, even it is different. But yeah, like if you're coming from Python to Java or even C sharp, fundamentally they work the same.
yeah,
Um, it's a syntax, right? Like that's all that's different is how you do it.
yeah.
So if you're okay with Python to an extent, you should be able to transfer it to Java sort of simple. Like it's not simple, but it shouldn't be like a brand new concepts. It shouldn't be. But if it is, then there's definitely some like gaps in your Python, like in your fundamentals.
Well, there's a lot of stuff where it's like, okay, so for this, so it'll be like, so this example uses this,
Hmm.
but that's something you'll learn later on in your career.
I hate that.
But we're
That
gonna
is how
use
this
that
used to
here
go.
anyways, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that does not help me.
One of the first things you'll get in like beginner courses is like they'll show.
yeah.
I remember when I did my associates in science. I mean, this is not even close, but I had to do public speaking as part of my like basics, like the basics of you to do.
Sorry, I had to go grab the dog.
And public speaking was like devastating for me. I had a B in that class, but I thought I was gonna have like a D or an F, and it was like the most overwhelming, stressful thing ever. I still have like stress streaks about that class because I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
I have stressors about like 8th grade history still, honestly. Like it's that like I don't know if you ever had Miss Jones in Crossville. She was a history teacher.
No, I did not.
I think she's like 7th or 8th grade. She gave me stress streams, like still today. Super stressful. I hated that.
That is awful.
It was one of those teachers who like makes you keep a journal of everything you do in the whole semester. And then she's like, you have to turn this in at the end of the semester. And this is worth a tenth, like a half of your grade is based on how you keep your journal.
I hated it.
Oh wait, maybe I did have that teacher. I don't know because I do remember doing that.
She does that. Miss Pointer, I think was her name, the chemistry teacher, science teacher.
Maybe it was Pointer. I think it might have been Pointer though. Oh,
Old lady teachers like that. Miss Jones is a science teacher, but she's doing. I hate that. No one in college of anything. That's just not a thing.
yeah.
Bro, the great part about college is they just don't give a fuck.
See, that's actually awful for me. Like, it's great, but it's also like awful because it's up to you.
I want somebody who's gonna teach me.
Well,
But
it's not even the
like,
teaching part. It's more like if you don't show up, they're gonna like call you or like get onto you.
yeah, and you
They're
kind of
just
need
gonna, like,
that.
whatever, right? And sometimes you need that kind of like
Yeah.
pressure because if not, you end up being like,
That's what helped me
Like,
through the courses that I had was that I had to make a call with my mentor every
Yeah.
like Monday,
I
and,
need that structure.
and I would get so nervous because I'd be like, damn it. And so like the last night I'd start working on stuff and I'd be like, okay. And then he'd ask me questions and I'd like start crumpling under pressure. Be like, oh shit, I really don't know anything. So after like the second week, I was like, okay, I actually gotta do this now.
I mean, I had a problem like that because, everybody gets an advisor. And my advisor would message me like every other week being like, hey, how's it going? Keep me up to date. And it got to a point where I was falling behind and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna completely ignore my advisor and my teachers because I'm falling behind and I can't bring myself to talk to them.
That
Yeah.
sucks. I get it, but that does suck. Like it's
That's
frustrating
crazy.
to know what's going on.
Crazy that they didn't like do something to like reprimand you for that, because that's what they would do to us. They were like, yeah, if you don't meet with your advisors, then you'll be dropped from the course. Which again is like helpful because it's like, damn.
No, like after 3 months, I just messaged my advisor, "Hey, sorry I haven't kept up with you. I just got like extremely stressed and depressed, and then I just stopped."
I think most of those people though that are like advising you, I mean, like they are there to help you. They're not gonna be upset about it. Maybe it'll be a little bit like, they're like, it's there to help. But I totally get it. It's like social anxiety. It's just, but it's like even worse because
You have expectations.
it's, I don't know. I didn't have like the worst college experience. I did like a 2-year semester in science. And it was like, I mean, I did like a bunch of like electrical engineering stuff, but it wasn't even at all about programming. But well, some of it was, but it was, I don't know. It was just, I didn't enjoy it really. I enjoyed the classroom work, but I hated our labs.
The idea
and
of
stuff.
having a career in it, probably.
Yeah, I loved like learning how electricity works. That was actually one of the best fun things I've ever learned. And then like one of my classes was we like the point was like to understand like, the radios you put in like trucks and stuff, the old radios. Oh my god, there's kind of like radios. I can't remember what they're called now. They're like old radios.
Resistor?
No, they're not like C something. I don't want to say
Shit,
they're
what is it
letter.
called?
There's like a syllables or like acronym for it.
But the thing with the online classes that sucks is, you know, going back to teachers, I don't really have a teacher. I have a guardian, basically, because they're like, the classes are pre-prepared, and the teacher's just like, hey, read this, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't
Yeah,
really provide helpful information or anything. They're just like, yeah, read this, I'll grade it, you know. I had a
like,
question because something wasn't working, and my teacher was like, oh, I don't really know what to do about that, so message the support.
Yeah, like what am I paying you guys for? You know, like.
Or like a big popular thing now is relying on other students, which luckily I didn't have to do, but they'll have like assigned students who understand this better than you. And they're like, yeah, reach out to them, and it's like, why? You're the teacher though, like.
My one of my classes was like OSHA safety like regulations and stuff.
No, fuck OSHA. They came by my
And,
work and I got in trouble.
What the class is like understanding all like their like how they enforce safety in the workplace and how to like, you know, it was really like in depth about chemicals and stuff. But anyway, it was online, which I hated. I hate online courses. And it took me about 5 seconds to understand that this course was like pre-made or whatever. And it took me another 5 minutes to find the site that they found that they used to make the course. Like it was like 2 Google searches away. And I found like the entire assignment like cheat sheet, and like it was like word for word copy from that website that they were using. So like I didn't bother like trying in that class. Like I mean I did learn it, but it was like there was no like pressure to actually like learn it because it was all online.
Yeah.
They didn't learn it. They just copy pasted from an online source that they found as well. I mean,
the
it was
way
just, like,
I see online is it's just somebody's keeping an eye on you while you're being self-taught, basically.
I guess. I mean, it shouldn't be like that though. Like it should.
Oh no, it definitely shouldn't.
Yeah, I think if you're online, you should have like bare minimum like once a week video conferences. Not even video, just like voice conferences or something with someone to like go over topics.
I've had one teacher in my entire almost 2 years that did that.
Yeah, those are the ones you want, honestly. I know people like, I know it's annoying sometimes to have to like deal with that, but honestly, the teachers who want to like help like matter in the end. Like those ones who are trying to make it a difference. I wish I had more like that. For me, when I have online classes, I only have like 2 or 3 years to every one of my online classes were my lowest. Or maybe not grade-wise, but like for me, I could tell that.
Go! Bitch!
Yeah. because there was no like one of them required us to come in at the end of the year to do like an in-person test. So like we had to like prove we weren't cheating, you know, the whole year. So it was like a monitored exam at the end of the year for the final. But even that was like, it was like 10 questions and it took 5 minutes and it was so simple. I don't know. It was, online courses are great, but they also have a lot of
Gonna be
issues.
very motivated.
Yeah, that's solely
It's
what I do.
self-motivated. It's super
because it's-
self-motivated.
Yeah, everything's online. Go through Southern New Hampshire University because that's what Walmart pays for.
Yeah.
I I think I'm like the only person who graduated mine because so many people. It was so easy just to drop out, you know. Well, no, I lie. I'm lying because one other person in our Walmart got a certificate. But it actually might not have even been for the same thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, because they offered other things like business management and shit like that.
Yeah, they do a bunch of. Well,
They did.
They cut down a.
Yeah. I don't even think they offer the one that I did anymore. They were like, damn, one guy graduated this, we're not making our money back. Oh, no,
I would
no.
love to look at your job. I'm not I can help you, but I would love to try because I enjoy that part of it.
I mean, I'm on the like classes end Sunday. I have 8 weeks for every class. So.
No,
Like,
but
what's like what is the what kind of like stuff like in Java right now? Like what are the assignments like?
It's just basic stuff like what last week was debugging a. Hold on, let me pull up the list.
Yeah, I'm not like quizzing you. I'm just
No.
I've not actually gone to school for programming. I'm self-taught, so I've not seen what colleges are going to offer. If I ever decided to go for something.
Yeah, let's see. This week is learn how to use documenting API.
Oh, right. Okay. Important. It is actually super important to learn how to do that. And so many people, Christian,
I know how to use APIs. What are you talking about?
the documentation.
Oh, reading documentation?
Yeah.
I know how to read documentation. I just don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's my problem too. Is like in my Python class, it would be like, "Yeah, you're great. Just leave some documentation," and I'm like, "Well, I already know what I'm doing."
Oh, you're talking about
Don't wanna take-
commenting out? I comment out all the time.
Are you talking about like reading docs or like making your own documentation?
Yeah.
This one's just making your own documentation.
Oh, yeah.
I do that sometimes actually for like when I'm creating a method. Or I guess I don't know. I think I call method. You can do like a triple, like if it's a comment in C#, you do like a double //. But if you do 3 of those instead, you can like leave a comment that becomes like documentation, like in line with your code, and it's super easy to do that. And I love it because it's actually useful for like when you come back to a project a week later and have forgotten what you did.
Yeah.
It does help. It's frustrating in the moment, but even just like a short like comment about like this method does this, you know, like
I've
it does
gotten
help.
better at it now. It's just for the first.
It's breathing.
Like you're taught to comment often, you know,
Yeah.
but like what they really mean is comment often on stuff that is not like simple, you know, like I don't need to comment after I declare a variable saying this line declares a variable called this. Like there's no point in commenting.
No, they
on that,
want you to
right?
do it for every.
Like again, like especially like when you're making like a bigger project like a game or something, you might have 20 different classes for like just the player, and each of those classes may have 100 methods, and you might want to have documentation so that when you come back a week later you have a reference just to jog your memory, because it's hard to remember everything. You aren't meant to remember everything.
Oh, it's typing.
Yeah.
And also by documenting stuff like in line, you like relieve yourself from needing to remember it. Like you can just like let go of that memory because you can just read the docs later. Like, if you're trying to keep everything in your head, which a lot of beginners do, and I do it still, you're gonna stress yourself out. You're meant to document it so that you can like let go of that bit of memory in your head and make room for other stuff. That's the best way to do it. But it is a hard thing to do, and again, like, you shouldn't do it for everything. You should do it for things that need it.
Yeah.
And like Python is like literally like English. Like,
and how would you know to turn the thing on? Somebody's gonna answer for this. So close it will happen. Has to. Okay.
it definitely looks more complicated, like at face value. Like Java looks silly sometimes because of how like much you have to write out to get things working. I do like Java though. Like I use it for like Minecraft modding is through Java, or plugins for Minecraft through Java base. RuneScape plugins are Java. So I do use it occasionally, but I don't prefer it over C#.
Yeah.
If you ever do C#, hit me up. That guy can teach you that one. I love C#.
I know. Everybody I've talked to, they're like, "Oh, what are you working on?" "Oh, Java? Yeah, fuck that. I hate that."
Yeah, I think Java just has like a bad rep because it's like older. I think also a lot of people confusing JavaScript when you say Java, because
JavaScript's easy though.
but JavaScript is terrible. Like right out. I think Java gets. I mean, it's terrible too. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad as JavaScript.
Oh my fucking god! I just used my last heal. Damn it. All right.
What's your next course gonna be after the Java one?
Social sciences.
Oh, it's just like
Yeah, just I have a couple. Yeah, I have a couple basics, but it's probably gonna be the same thing. Like every other term, I have a basically social science class that goes over the exact same thing every time.
How the fuck am I shooting this bitch with a shotgun and she's still coming at me?
I ended up taking sociology for my social science course. It was alright. I enjoyed sociology. I think it was like that or psychology. And I didn't know what sociology was, so I took that, and it's actually pretty interesting. But it was just one semester. It wasn't even like a full year of that. It was super easy.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I learned in that class was understanding the difference between like correlation and
Causation.
causation. I guess like is it a result of this or is it just coincidence? You know, and people tend to think everything is really like connected, and that's almost never true. That's kind of the gist of that class was it's rarely connected to what you think it is. It's almost always random, which is fun. That's fun to think about. But it was an easy class at least.
My favorite thing to learn in sociology was that hills should never be silent.
I hate that movie. That movie is so disturbing.
What, the hills have eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always forget there's a second one.
I actually have never watched any of them. I almost watched the first one at Alex's house when we were really young, but I fell asleep, I think. And woke up at the end.
I think I watched it like at a Halloween party in like 8th grade. None of us knew what it was. And we should not have watched that movie. We definitely shouldn't have watched that movie as little kids. It was like in a do you remember Aaron like that? Anyway.
Aaron, the guy who married. Wait.
No, it was a girl.
Oh, Aaron. Oh no. It was like yeah, the one that was in band.
I got with like Kristen Beatty and
Yeah, I do remember her.
She had like a really cool like
a long time ago, she tried to hit me up when she was like, "I'm drunk right now," and I was like, "I don't fuck with drunk girls."
Yeah, she got kind of weird.
Yeah, I think she had like I don't know what it was because we were really good friends, but like
yeah, she was cool for a long time. Then she kind of got like weird.
I think she dated somebody who like treated her badly and then started vying.
Anyway, she had like a cool farm. Like they had like a cool farm, and they had like every year a Halloween party with like they had like a projector, like a huge projector screen, and we watched like scary movies. And that was one of the first ones I ever saw over there. That was super disturbing.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that. I just do.
For the longest time, the most disturbing horror movie to me was The Grudge. That shit was always like so spooky.
I haven't watched it since I was a kid, and as a kid, I think I must have blacked it out. I don't remember it. I need to go back and rewatch it. I know there's a second one.
Yeah, there's two. I think there's only two. There might be three. I'm not sure.
I think there's like a different version of it though.
Like a might be a
there's
real
a
imagining.
There's like a Japanese version, like older version.
You guess
Yeah,
if that's
the
a 3 or
original,
a
I
9? 9659.
Didn't me and you watch the original, or was that the
me
Yeah, I think it's older.
I
Like,
think we
pretty
watched
old.
both of them.
We've watched them all, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like 9659.
That's what I thought.
it looks like a 3 to me.
That's what I.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
I can't tell.
It looks
Well,
to me it
well-
looks like 3653.
Oh
Try
no,
both.
that first one is definitely a 9. I'm gonna do 9659, but it could be 3 as well. So we'll just see.
I mean, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like a J with a circle on top.
Yeah, you know
I mean,
what? I think I'm gonna hit
It
that.
just looks like a G to me, but
You know, I think it's meant to confuse you. It's gonna be either 3.
All right,
6,
so I'm gonna
or
forget
1.
if we keep talking about other things that
Yeah,
aren't
I've
that.
already forgot the numbers.
But yeah, no, the Grudge for the longest time was one of the scariest scenes. Was like girls like this was in the second one. The girls like no, it might be in the first one actually. She's showering by herself, and then she's like scrubbing her hair, and she the fingers poke out of it, bro, and
Yeah,
she starts
that's
pulling.
not cool.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, oh, it was awful.
that's like an iconic scene.
and
Yeah,
then
it's
she
like-
starts pulling out black hair. Oh,
I think the most like
that was it. That's a fun man.
scariest. Oh, it was like 3563.
I got it. You don't gotta try to confuse me anymore. All right, cutscene. I'm getting it.
Maybe I think maybe I'm a little delayed actually on the stream. Have you seen the movie called Sinister?
Oh yeah, I love that movie. Good one. Hold on
That
one
movie
second.
is
Hold on. This is gonna be a
terrifying.
big lore drop. Oh.
Okay.
Oh. You know what?
Big lore drop.
I just got to it in my stream. Oh, that's funny.
You know.
The lore is that nothing matters.
Yeah. It's symbolic. It's really what it is.
That's a cool looking door.
She got a biscuit in her mouth.
Little treat.
Oh, a new button. Cool. Okay. Alrighty. Fine. Anyway, yeah, the Grudges were really good. Sinister's great. Sinister's one of the greats, dude.
I think Sinister is one of the creepiest movies I've watched in a long
Yeah,
time.
100% agree.
I think there's actually a second one,
See the
but I'm
lady
pretty sure
at
it
the
was
door.
terrible.
Yes, it was. I watched it. It was like an Amazon deal.
Yeah.
It was awful.
I think me and Santa did watch it, and we ended up quitting midway because
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It starts out trying to be creepy. It's like
Yeah.
the origin of the kids in the movie, you know? Like it's like the origin
I
of
think,
where they come from.
and sometimes it's better just to leave it as a
mystery, yeah.
That makes it creepy.
Yeah, it was bad.
One of my favorite like this is
Welcome to another
I don't know, like
exciting
one
edition
of my
of
favorite like movies is The Conjuring, like the first one.
Yeah, that
I
one's
think,
good.
I think it has like a perfect pacing of like it building up slowly. It
I
dropping
still
like,
think
one
Sinister's
here and
better
there.
than The Conjuring, but
I think the first Conjuring is honestly a perfect scary movie.
you watch Hereditary? That one's really good.
That was messed up.
Yeah, that shit at the end was crazy.
But where I was going with The Conjuring is, I think the first one is perfect. I think the second one is almost as good. And then they should have stopped there. Because, like...
I'm being quizzed. Hold on.
Okay, I'm definitely behind on that.
I have it up in Discord. Is it?
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I mean, still, you can support me if you want, but I have it up on Discord.
I'm not watching two streams. That's crazy.
42, 2, 67, 3, 85. Know the answer? Well, you better hold on to it. You never know when it might
Pretty sure
come
the
in
Black Plague
handy.
killed a lot more than
Now, on to the second question.
He said inhabitants of Silent Hill
Street heading east
in the
further on to
1800s.
the outskirts of town. One and only one road will take you towards the lumberyard and the cemetery. What is the name of that road? 1. Bachman Road. 2. Munson Street. 3. Wiltsey Road. Did you get that? I sure as hell hope so. And for a third and final question, Silent Hill witnessed a gruesome murder a few years back. A brother
How are you
and
inputting
sister
your
were
response?
playing in the road.
Oh, I'm not. I think I'm supposed to hold on to them and do them later. I'm writing them down though.
Oh,
With an
okay.
axe. Torn flesh, smashed bones, splattered blood. What a terrible tragedy. What a gruesome end to such innocent lives. One of the victims was a local boy named Billy Locane. But what was the name of the other victim? Billy's sister. 1. Miriam. 2. Heather. 3. Julia. Well, that's the last of our questions. Have you got it all figured out? If so, fantastic. The time will soon come to collect your prizes. But be careful. If you're wrong, well, looks like that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. See you somewhere, sometime, in sickness or in health. Bye-bye.
Way to sign off of a radio, but alright.
What the hell was that?
No, I thought Hereditary had some of the best, like, just creepy moments. Like the
That
one
movie is
scene
so-
where he's
I
like
went
looking
blind,
for his
having no idea
mom,
what it was.
and she's like fucking, she's just like swinging behind him, or not swinging, but
Yeah.
like swimming through the fucking air. That shit gives me that like frog in
Yeah.
my throat effect. I'm like, ugh.
What I think was so great about it was like, I didn't notice it as soon as Cynthia did. And I think that's kind of like, I don't know, I just didn't notice it for a bit, and I like, she gasped, and then I did, like, later. It was so creepy, dude, like, that, especially going in blind and not knowing what it was,
yeah.
I did not expect that movie to be what it was. I thought Midsummer, how you say it, was also pretty good. I don't think it
I
was-
didn't like it, Midsommar.
I think it was a pretty good attempt at, like, I think it did an okay job. At
It
what
was like a
tried to do.
good cult movie, I guess, but that doesn't really
Yeah.
scare me. I was just like, I'd fight them.
I think,
But the ending of it was pretty good, where she's like, they're paralyzed. Yeah, that was pretty.
I think reading people's
What the
like
fuck?
opinion of it from like people who actually like celebrate it kind of like turned me off of the movie, because it was like,
Bastardization of it.
it's not even that, it's like beyond that. It's just like so silly to like treat it. It would be like trying to treat like July the 4th as like some terrifying holiday where it would be like use fireworks to blow people up or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was just like such a silly idea. It's like, I don't know why. I guess it's because of all the propaganda over the past.
Well, I
few-
thought it was
but,
just
like,
supposed to be like a little like hippie group. It wasn't like representative of all of Sweden.
No,
or
but
wherever.
it's just like, I think it plays on the fear that a lot of Americans have of European culture, because
Oh
like
wait, I
people
think
Europe
Desiree
is like
watched
some
that
like
movie recently.
terrible place to live.
Midsommar?
Like,
Yeah.
have you seen it?
No, I haven't. Admittedly, I watched a lot of like horror movies around like middle school and high school, and then started trying to watch them again like a few years ago. But just every horror movie I watched, I was just like, eh.
Yeah, I feel that way about horror movies in general usually. But
Well, I felt bad because it was even like, you know, when you were like, hey, watch these movies. I think Hereditary was one of them, and there was a couple others, and I was just watching it, and I'm just like, I don't know, horror movies just don't do it for me anymore.
I think I'm the opposite. Not, well, they don't do it for me ever really, but I think I'm definitely more sensitive to stuff like putting myself in that place. You know, like, I'm more sympathetic than I was when I was a kid to like people in movies, like not just horror, but like in any movie at all. I'm like, it moves me more than it used to when I was younger.
yeah, because you're a
Maybe- I
full-grown
don't know
adult.
why.
Yeah, you're a full-grown
Yeah.
adult instead of like a kid who's like, I would have done 3 backflips
Yeah.
to escape that ghost.
I hate when I like I can't. The new Evil Dead movie. I can't remember what it's called.
Was it not good? I have yet to watch it. There's two of them, right?
I hated it.
Really?
I think it was so bad.
Really?
It was so dumb. I think it
It
was
looked
so
creepy
dumb.
though. It looked creepy from
It's
like.
not. To me, it was a little creepy, but really all it was is like, how much blood can we fit in this scene? And then they say, okay, can we fit more in the next scene?
To be fair,
And
that's how the original one kind of was too.
It's a lot, dude. Like, I know it's meant to be gory, and like gore doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's just
But
annoying.
it was so much, like over, like just blood, like spurting like everywhere constantly for no reason. And then I go online to look at like reviews, where I was like, this is terrible, and I tried to see what other people thought about it. I generally didn't like it, and the biggest complaint I see was this wasn't gory enough.
Oh, that's
and I'm
crazy.
Like, what? I'm like, what? Like, are you guys like I don't know, man. Like it upsets me that people are so like obsessed. It's like disturbing almost. Like, why do you want it to be more gory than it already was?
Well, it's like, when did those come out? Because if it came out around the time of Terrifier, I think that's
the new Evil Dead movie is like recent. Like,
Yeah, there's two of them. One was about like a mom and her kids or something, and I guess
Yeah,
she
it's
gets
really
possessed or
hard.
some shit.
The whole movie-
But there was another one before that got released where it was like a woman in Ash's place.
That one's supposed to be actually pretty.
Yeah, that's the one I heard was good, and then I heard the new one
That one's
sucked.
good. The new one is the one. The one that I'm talking about is the one where they're in the apartment the whole time.
Mhm.
But
I thought that one
like,
looked
it was
creepy.
fine. It was a creepy movie. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't like scary, but it
gory.
was like creepy. But it was more like
Yeah, I can't stand like I it doesn't gross me out or anything, but viscera is just
that
annoying.
that's
I
what
feel
the
like
movie
it's
was trying to do.
fetishized.
They were trying to gross you out, but it wasn't like for the movie. It was trying to gross the viewer out. So they would like do these scenes that like don't make sense, but it's gross, you know, from the point of view of the viewer. So like it kind of like breaks you out of the immersion of the movie. I don't know. It blew my mind that people were like, this needs more gore, like more blood. And there's one scene where like literally they're like showered in blood, like head to toe solid red, like swimming in blood, and they're still saying this needs more blood. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just people are messed up. I think people are honestly,
Hey,
some people
bro.
are really messed up and like completely detached from reality. It's crazy.
Hey, bro. All I'm
It upset
saying
me.
is, now after saying that, tell me vampires aren't real.
What?
Tell me vampires aren't real. Society's filled with them, and that's who's bombing that's who's review bombing these shits.
I don't know, man. I'm like, it actually upsets me. Like it's like
It makes you
upsetting
worry, yeah.
for humanity.
Yeah.
I'm like we are lost. Like it's over. There's nothing to hope for at this point.
Goddamn
I think
ladder.
people really are like separated, like detached from like what.
I
that would
think it's
be.
just easier for people, but on the flip side,
I know that most of these people saying these things are probably like 14-year-olds.
they're just in their own echo chamber a lot of times. But
Yeah,
it's also, but I will say,
it's still dangerous to like, like it can be dangerous, to be in that kind of
Yeah,
state of
100%.
mind.
but
So-
like the caveat to it is it's also easier than it's ever been to. It's easier than it's ever been to like get an outside perspective too. So these are just people who are willingly staying like that, which is still dangerous. But I don't think it speaks for the majority of humanity.
It doesn't, but it's just frustrating to see like.
People are. Oh, well, hey, what the
James.
fuck? Yeah, Mary. What you getting?
Oh,
Oh, he called her Mary. That's crazy.
yeah, I thought.
Damn, bro, that
Sorry.
was crazy. What a 40
Anyway,
slip.
I'm glad you're alive.
Anyway? What do you mean, anyway? I was almost killed back there. I have never been so scared in my whole life. All you care about is that dead wife of yours. You couldn't care less about me.
Snap on her, James.
No,
I
just-
mean,
Stay
she's
with
not
me.
wrong. She's not wrong. I
Leave me
mean,
alone again. You're supposed to take care of me.
This is scary. She's getting really weirdly close to him.
It's weird that she just showed up there out of nowhere.
Well, I have my own theories about that. I actually don't remember the truth about her, but I have theories.
So what about Laura? You found her?
Yeah, but she ran away.
What? Well, we have to find her.
Yeah, you really seem to care about that girl. Do you know her?
I'd never met her before.
Little girl
I
in a
just feel
scary ass
sorry for
place.
her. She's all alone, and I don't know, for some reason I feel like it's up to me to protect her.
What's up, girl?
Come on, let's go look for her.
Actually, did not expect her to. Wait, can I not go down here? Where are we going? Going here? Oh, my ear. It's pretty loud.
Do what? I know what he said.
Oh, there we go. The door's open now. So what I
Series, but I still think Paranormal Activity is a good series, honestly.
yeah, I never hate it. I do like found footage if it's done right. I think the art is doing it right though. One of my favorite ones was called it was called The Last Exorcist or The Last Exorcism. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, well that's
That was one of
the
my
best.
favorite
That is
ones.
the best, honestly.
It was such
That
a
one
cool, like, he went from being like a skeptic pastor who was conning people to like
Yeah.
a believer and trying to seek absolution at the end. I thought that was so cool.
I think, yeah, that one's like the gold standard. Like, not just for me or you, but like literally it is the gold
I didn't know it
standard.
was really popular. That's good. I watched that movie
it is.
fucking 3 times in theaters, which is crazy. I was showing all my
It is
friends.
super good.
Yeah.
The ending is such a crazy, like, it has you guessing until the
Yeah,
very
yeah.
end.
You're like, all right, maybe this is
It
crazy.
goes back and forth so many times intentionally to like make you guess,
What
like
do you
second
know?
guess yourself,
Mm,
which is kind of like, you know, what he's going through. It did it so well.
mm.
The Paranormal Activity,
What are you talking
I
about?
thought like the middle ones, like 2, like 3 and 4 were like whatever, but like they have like they finished them. Like there's like an ending to that series now.
Wait, there was other ones?
There's there's Paranormal 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, Paranormal. I'm sorry. I thought you were still
Oh,
talking
no,
about
no,
The Last
yeah,
Exorcism.
no.
Sorry, I was listening to that dialogue and I got lost. But
But
yeah,
there's like a final one.
I
Like, that's,
only
like,
watch I think up to 3, but there's more than that. There's like a lot more, right?
There's one that's like after 3. There's one that takes place from like this random Mexican family that lives in like Los Angeles or something.
Yeah.
And it was like it didn't make sense to me at first what the point of that one was because it was kind of out of
What's an
nowhere.
abyss?
But there's another one after that one. I think that's the last one actually. It's called like the Lost Tapes or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
But
I think
it,
most
like,
of
it
them are on like
literally, like,
Amazon or something, right?
They're all on Max right now if you want to watch them all. They're all on Max. They might be on Paramount. I don't know. But like, the ending is actually cool. Like, it's not scary in my opinion at all. But it's a cool like paranormal ending. It's not like what I expected. I mean, I'm just.
You can tell me.
spoil
I
it.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like the whole movies are told through like the family's point of view, or, like
Yeah.
Katie's family,
Is
like
that
when she
what
was
I
young,
think
when
it
she
is?
was an adult. Like it's always from her family.
Mhm.
And I think it's the second one. No, it's the third one, where it tells the story of when Katie and her sister were like little
hold on.
kids. Wow, yeah,
Ooh,
wait.
we can find in the fridge. Maybe some nice cold beverages,
It's
perhaps.
empty.
Yeah, that would be great.
The rest of the game is just empty
Yeah.
cases, and it's literally like trying to tell you something.
Having trouble there?
Yeah.
Oh,
You think you could give me a hand?
Ooh, James.
Me?
James.
Why would she know how to open it?
You're supposed to be the big man around here. How's a little girl like me supposed to help?
Hit her, James. Hit her. Hit her with the pipe. Wouldn't be the first
Fine.
time. Oh, what? What'd I say?
Oh, God.
What's this? Not very cute, is it? Here, why don't you take it?
Thanks.
It's 2 rings I have now.
So, where to now?
Come on. I think I know where those rings belong.
Anyway, you learn that like the family is like part of a cult, or the grandmother is this whole time, and she's like trying to sacrifice her granddaughters to summon a demon. And at the very last movie, in the very last movie, it like ties all the other movies together. Like finally, there's like an actual like line that ties them all directly together, and it was really cool how they did it. But like at the very end, they actually summon the demon. Like he straight up appears, like the Antichrist basically shows up, like in flesh, and they like actually succeeded in summoning him. And it was just like you never expect that to happen, you know? Like for the bad guys to win.
Yeah, especially in a game that's supposed to be rooted in, or a movie that's supposed to be rooted in realism, you know?
Yeah, it completely breaks that about this movie at that point.
Yeah, I think I remember. I think I remember
because
in one of them there being like cultists in there that are showing up. I just don't remember which one it was.
Cultists show up in all of them actually.
Really?
But like it's maybe not the first one, but after that, yeah, they're all like, if you watch the last one, you'll see like it goes back and actually like jumps around through the old movies from different perspectives.
Yeah, maybe I have seen that one. It's just been so long.
It's crazy. It's a crazy movie, dude. Like it's not like scary in my opinion, but it
just kind of
it's paranormal. It leans more towards like the ghost and demon thing. Like it's not so much like meant to be like a jump scary movie. It's just like a paranormal investigation movie, which I thought was great. But what's really crazy is so like they summon the demon, who at this point is like named Toby. So like the lore, his name is Toby, just because the kids called him Toby. But he's like basically the Antichrist, right?
Yeah.
And they have another one that came out after this, and like that was the end, right? And this new Paranormal Activity movie, I think it's just called Paranormal Activity or something, but it's like a whole different story, like completely separate. It's not at all about this family. It's like about an Amish community, and it's called Paranormal Activity. But if you didn't know what it was, you would not think it was connected. But like there's this whole like lore people like connected to it, and I think that when Toby was summoned, he's like persistent through all alternate dimensions. He's always a persistent presence in these places. And this newest Paranormal Activity movie was like just another reality where he has already been summoned, and these like Amish cultists are like containing him all these centuries for so long, and this camera crew like discovers him underground and like releases him by mistake. So they're like setting up this crazy universe, and it's just crazy. Like I didn't see Paranormal Activity going that way.
Oh my god, scared the fuck out of me. Jesus.
It's a good series. You should definitely check them out sometime.
I remember when the first one came out, how hyped everybody was. They were like, "This is the best shit I've ever seen!" Ah! I guess it was our generation's Blair Witch though, because we really weren't old enough when Blair Witch came out.
The whole marketing told us it was real, and like I was like 11.
Yeah, that's true.
But the first time I saw it was like at midnight at Sean Poor's house in the middle of the night. His older brother like pulled us to the PC and like in a dark room, and I was like, "Dude, look at this movie." And if you like, we were kids, like we were like 11 or something. So we were like, "Oh my god, this is real!" Like it says it's real, it has to be real. And I couldn't sleep, dude, like for like weeks. Like I was terrified of that movie. And
I fucked that up and reload.
It was, oh man, those movies are crazy. What's really crazy is that first movie has a budget of like $15,000 or something.
Oh, that's cool. They did it all through Ring cameras.
Yeah, like all they had to buy was a couple cameras and snacks. That's the whole budget. And it's like it has one of the biggest turnarounds in profit versus budget. It's a huge success, and then like all the other ones are also pretty low budget compared to like most movies.
Yeah.
Like the first one, it was filmed in the director's house. Like it was super low budget, and it ends up being one of the most successful like horror franchises of all time for like pennies.
I didn't know they did that well.
Yeah, it's super profitable, the franchise as a whole. It was, I mean, when it comes to found footage, I think it might be the most popular series. Like in terms of like how many they've made and how many people have like seen it, yeah, it's pretty big. I know for sure the first like 2 or 3 were huge in theaters. They did a lot of profit overall.
Yeah.
compared to especially what they put into it. Like, you know, the turnaround is insane. Let's see. Paranormal Activity.
Oh, this is the quiz that I took. Okay, okay. I do not remember the. Well, was it 111? Okay, so it was 85 for question 1, is what I said, and then
I thought you
Bachman
wrote them down.
I did, but I didn't write A, B, or C.
Hmm.
Then Bachman wrote, I think, is the first one he said, and then Miriam.
That was the second one, I think.
Bachman was.
No, Miriam was, I think, the second name he said.
I just realized it because I thought it said C1, C2, C3, but it said Q1, and I was like, oh, that's question 1. Okay.
Oh, side note, the Grand Blue fighting game is half off right now for $25.
Oh shit! Damn, I just bought
Yeah,
that fucking
that's-
Quiet Place game.
I know, but $25 is a really tempting price.
I know. Get it for yourself, and I'll get it. Like, I'll get it later.
I can tell you how long it's on sale.
Yeah, but next week's check is going to Dragon Age.
I'm gonna check. It does come out like.
Yeah, so Paranormal Activity 1 made a profit, like net profit, of $78 million, which is just crazy for what they put into it. That's crazy. There's a video game? What?
Oh yeah, I've played it. It's in VR. It's actually really fun. I'll boot that shit
Oh,
up
yeah,
right
it's
now.
a PS4 VR game.
Yeah, I played it. It's pretty spooky. It's pretty spooky. It actually kind of had me a little uneasy. I was playing by myself with nobody in chat, so I was not as brave as I normally am.
There's also a non-official sequel spin-off in Japan only, like a Japanese-only film, called Paranormal Activity Tokyo Night. I think that was the prequel to Tokyo Drift, actually.
I agree. I think it was. That's what I heard. Oh, this is just a bunch of ammo. Hell yeah. I heard Vin Diesel was supposed to star in it, but they couldn't afford his budget.
He was spooked out.
Yeah, he says he couldn't afford him, but it really was the spookiness.
I remember when I was like in middle school, like the Need for Speed Tokyo Drift game came out, like on PlayStation 2. My friend Sean had it, and he let me borrow it. And then at the time, this is also the time when like those little plastic threads were really popular that people would like, you know, stitch into like little patterns.
Oh yeah.
And at the time, me and Sean had like invested like $50 together into buying some from Walmart, and then like we would like make the little bands and stuff, and like we made like $200 doing that. It was crazy. We were like selling this to the kids, and he ended up like stealing all of it from me, and he sold it like we were supposed to.
Wow.
And at the time, I had borrowed his Need for Speed Tokyo Drift game. I like took it to my house.
Yeah.
I was so mad. It still bothers me today. I took a pin and I like scratched the entire back of the disc up with the pin open, like to the point where there's like indentation to the disc. And I like brought it to him. I was like, "Hey man, here's your game. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry." And it was like
very clearly intentionally done.
yeah, but like, sorry man, I don't know what happened. It doesn't work anymore. But like, it's I look back on it as like a low moment. Like I've never done that to someone, and it made me mad. I've never destroyed someone's property before.
No one knows.
Other than
Only
that
I
time.
can see the lady at the door. They
I've had that done to me once. I was really into Shenmue 2 back in like way back in the day on the original Xbox.
Yeah.
And my brother would always be like, "Hey, let's go do something," and I'm like, "No, I'm playing Shenmue. I don't want to do anything." So one day I went to the bathroom. He took it out of the Xbox, took it outside. And
I
then just
remember
started
this.
Crushing it with a chair.
Because I was wanting to try it because you talked about it all the time, and then I was like, "Hey man, I'm
my
here."
favorite game.
Yeah. I was like, "Hey man, I'm ready to play some Shenmue." You're like, "Oh yeah, I don't have that game anymore because Gabe broke it." And I was really pissed at him.
We don't talk about that.
I was pissed at him.
Yeah.
And then I went back. Shenmue. Oh my god, Shenmue 3 was awful. Ugh.
I think it hurt. It hurt a lot as a kid too, because like I would get like one game a year if I was lucky. Like we didn't have a lot of
Feel that.
So,
I
like,
don't know. I got games like every weekend growing up.
lucky. We went to like Blockbuster and like would rent games for like the weekend. That was like usually my experience with gaming. It was you get like 2 or 3 days to like rent it over the weekend, and then you have to do it again. So like the issue was like your memory cards back then were like, you know, like 120 megs or something for the PlayStation 2.
That's like
PlayStation 2 is
50.
16 megabytes.
Yeah.
It was something tiny. So like
It is done.
I remember like Devil May Cry 2.
More.
I think it's the second one where you start off like the pizza shop, the pizza place.
No, that's
It's
3.
either 1 or 2.
Three's where, yeah, 3's where you start off in the pizza shop.
On PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Bro, we were
went to
talking about that. There's like 4 Silent Hills on PS2. There's like they released games like crazy back then.
Anyway, like, it took up the whole memory card for like 1 save file. Like that's so like.
Or on
we couldn't,
GameCube,
like-
bro, The Sims or Animal Crossing. Oh my god,
yeah,
you had to have
we
your own
couldn't
memory
make
Sims was 512 megabytes of space.
Yeah.
blocks or whatever they. No, it was like whatever the blocks were called on, because it was megabytes, but
that's your thing, yeah.
they called it something else just to be quirky.
That was the
and
problem though,
Nintendo-y.
is like we rented games and we would make saves for it, but like your option was either wait an entire week and rent it again, or delete that save.
Pyramid Head. We think it's Pyramid Head.
Run!
Yep, it is. Run, Maria, run. Gotta take a sip of my Bev. Never ever forget the Bev. Oh shit, come on, James. Parkour. Bro, you gotta learn to run faster. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Well,
Yeah.
that was yeah, I didn't think it
I probably just fist fought him for real.
I don't like that.
There you
If
go,
it,
take
like,
him.
is-
Oh my god! Wasn't expecting that, my bad. Oh, he's right there. Let's get out!
There! An elevator!
Well, I'm ahead of
you were
him.
running like that, and kids don't cry. Like it's not really like it's
Come on, hurry!
Nah.
They're not really doing much effort, are they? Like,
She had her whole body in between. Yo, that's crazy. I actually didn't expect her to die. Damn. There's one thing James is good at. It's losing women.
is that his like girlfriend or?
No, just a girl he meets in Silent Hill. That's it. He looks like his wife, but it's not her.
I'm gonna say she's not actually dead. Knowing nothing about the story at all, that's my prediction.
If she's part of Silent Hill, yeah, maybe, but I don't know. It's just a theory. I have a theory that she's part of Silent Hill, and not
That'd be
a,
to me, that's like the worst case. Is like Silent Hill presenting itself as like as a thing that you want to like, or like something that you want to take care of, and then you're just ripping it away from you constantly.
Oh, well, you're getting close. Not saying too much, but Silent Hill in the games is typically everybody's personal hell, except for one
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So-
It's, yeah.
So,
I think these games are like just like this area that you've been running through recently is like atmospherically like it's super it's well made. Like
Yeah.
they did a really great job with this remake.
yeah, they really did. Which, like I said, this is the one for some reason. This is the one I remember the most, and I wish they would have remade 1 or 3. Wish they would have went in order and done more.
I hope with the success of this one, because I think it's kind of a surprise success actually.
Yeah,
From what I heard, from what I was looking at, people were predicting it to be terrible, and it's a pleasant.
well, it's
That's
because
fine,
of
though.
Blooper, because people didn't like Blooper's games, but their games are good. Atmospherically, like you were talking about, fantastic. One of them is, well, you said Cynthia played Layers of Fear, and you watched a little bit of it, right? Like, it's
Yeah,
a
it was
creepy,
fun.
it's a creepy game. Like, it's just
Yeah.
a walking simulator, and, you know, if you didn't know that's what it was, maybe that would upset you, but otherwise, I had no issue with it.
I didn't know that it had negative.
Yeah, people hated Layers of Fear for some reason. On release, people loved it.
Well,
I
you
think
know what's
it's
crazy to me
really
about
critical.
the success of Silent Hill 2
What's up?
is it did so well and all 3 games sold like amazingly. That was the new Dragon Ball, the new Metaphor ReFantazio, and this, and they all came out within like 3 days of each other.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So for them to do so good, all like coming out at the same time, it's just
Especially like it's not like an original game; it's a remake. You know, it's not like
No.
There were some people who were like, "I'm tired of all these remakes," but I think
But this is an old game.
Yes,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
they're remaking that one horror game that's like the choice based
Until
one.
Dawn, yeah,
That came out.
doesn't
like,
really
what,
need it. Just
oh,
needs
that
a
one did
port.
horribly.
Yeah,
that one
did.
came out like the original is not even that old though, you know.
Yeah, it was
Or,
like
They,
PS4.
they're remaking. They remade Horizon. I
Yeah,
think, as
stupid.
well.
They're
They
remaking Horizon.
they
Which I still think the original Horizon, I still think looks amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, those remakes are obvious.
Well, it's like they remade The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, that
like,
was
a
so-
year after it
that's
came out,
so fucking
and then sold it
stupid.
again for $70.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is like they wouldn't do it if it didn't work. You know, people are gonna buy it.
I think they usually flop, honestly.
I think
Like those.
I think they. I don't think they lose by none of those remakes because when you remade it 7 times at this point, it's just like it's cookie cutter.
But
It's
things
not
that are
gonna
like
do it.
PS1, like back before the fundamental
Yeah.
like
Like,
rules
this
of
is a-
gaming were
this
invented.
is- Yeah.
Like now there's so much tech, and that's what Masahiro Ito, the lead designer in this game, was saying. He was like, "It's so cool seeing these visions like the way we wanted them to be."
Yeah, we talked about that all the time. It's like this is a story that was told to like 2 generations. So there's just a whole new generation.
Essentially through like what would be the equivalent of cave paintings, like.
This is for people like even for me actually because this is something I think if you play as a kid, it's the first opportunity.
100% too. Yeah, it's a whole new generation.
The outreach is pretty crazy. People who enjoyed it as a kid, it's like a really nice treat to get to relive it through the modern eye. Because it's had enough time to like have that separation of like a tech gap or whatever, where there's enough progress that it deserves to be remade. Unlike Horizon, which is like still like top notch, like still looks better than most games today. A game like Silent Hill or like I don't know, like I don't know Texas even. Those games are old enough to be the modern design and make them crazy good.
Resident Evil 2 was really good.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 was. Resident Evil 3 was good too. It just was short. They cut a lot of content out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that is one thing I don't like about some of these remakes is like if you're gonna remake it, I think it should be faithful remakes. Honestly, like,
yeah.
What's the point of? I don't even get into it, but I hate when people take a story and like trim it down or edit it to their own liking because they think they can tell the story better.
Yeah.
When it's not their job to retell the story in their own way, it's just to retell the story that exists. Like the story works one time for a reason.
Well, yeah. And that's something that a lot of people I think were scared about in this one too, because it has a lot of like it has a lot of not PC themes in it, like which I mean, but that's the point, is it's like supposed to be dark and disturbing. There's a lot of like sexual aggression and assault in this.
Because those are scary subjects.
They move human, yeah. They move like these are things that they're not done to make light of it. What the fuck?
But yeah, it's I don't know. It's just I really hate when people take a story that's already there and they somehow know better.
Yeah.
Then like I mean like I'm kind of like my example currently is Wheel of Time. It's a book series.
Oh yeah.
It's like 13 books long.
So need to
Our frienders recently went through all of them.
God, like that dude, the author, literally died writing the last book. He devoted his entire life to that series, and then Amazon, I don't know who it is, but his uncle has a lot of money. And he's like, hey, my nephew wants to direct a series, and we need a big one.
Oh,
like,
did that
heard
release?
about the series.
Did that release?
Yeah, it's like I mean it's not even Wheel of Time. It's literally called Wheel of Time, but honestly, it's not the same story. It is like, other than Halo, it is the most like insane departure.
Oh yeah, I heard Halo's pretty bad too.
Halo got canceled thankfully because it wasn't Halo. It's just like
it's crazy they like face revealed Master Chief after like the first episode, whereas like
what's crazy is they had Master Chief fall in love with a Covenant human lady out of nowhere. That's
Covenant human? What?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's crazy.
A
They got
covenant
canceled.
human lady?
It got canceled. Don't worry about it.
The covenant human lady can't hurt you anymore.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like I don't know, man. It's disrespectful, you know. Like, you know, the team that made Halo spent years of their lives,
Yeah,
like out this
crafting
story,
lore, yeah.
dedicating literally years of their lives to make it perfect in their, and it's their story. And then this random dude comes along and says, "You know what? I know how to do it better. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna these people.
I
They
think-
were wrong. I'm right. I'm gonna tell them." And like, why? Like, why are you? Then don't make it. Don't make Halo then. Or
Yeah.
don't make
Yeah, if you don't like the story, then just make your own story that's
Was
slightly.
it Halo or The Witcher that they were like openly just constantly being like, yeah, we didn't fucking play the games or read the books. I don't
think
care
it was
about
Halo,
that shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were like doubling down on the fact that it was going to be good.
They brag as like one of their selling points is they brag and they had to watch they had to play the game, so they were able to tell an unbiased version of the story.
It's crazy. An unbiased
like,
version of the story.
Like why? Like, and I know the reason why. It's because these writers who like have money wanted to tell their own like story, but they knew it was trash, so they had to like piggyback it on top.
It's all about, yeah, it's all about branding.
Yeah, they had to get something that made it appealing to the masses, and then they like worked it into their own story that they like wrote. Like they didn't put any effort into it. It was trash. They couldn't sell it to Amazon, but they can buy an IP and like tape it on top of it, and it's so frustrating, dude. I hate that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's like one of those things where like, why like, is it really that hard to come up with something? You can come up at this point. You can come up with stuff that's like inspired by something, and people will still eat it up.
It's because like studios like Amazon and Netflix, they don't want to invest in risk. You know, they want comfortable investments. So like they know that like an existing IP is a comfortable investment. So
Yeah.
if you can say, oh, this series is based on the Resident Evil game series, which look how many people love Resident Evil. You know, this is a successful series. We can just call it that, and it's gonna work. People are gonna watch it, and they did. But it's not Resident Evil. It's just not. It's an absolutely different story.
Yeah.
But it's called Resident Evil. Like, it's a way to make sure that you can profit. And that's another big issue is they won't profit on these shows, but then they're also paying these actors like $10 million an episode for no reason.
For real.
To get them out there. Like, there's no reason that you should be spending $200 million to produce like a couple episodes of some random Netflix series. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and they think another part of that branding is using pre-established actors to sell it even further. You know.
Yeah, one of my biggest pet peeves in Netflix.
Go fucking
too is when I'm like looking at the movie description on Netflix, it won't even be about the movie. It'll just be like actor 1 and actor 2 are in this movie. They did a great job. Like, they're not selling the movie. They're selling you the actor that you love, and he's gonna be in there for a few minutes. Like, there's no story. There's just actors that sell it on. It's so lazy. But it works. It turns profit. That's really all that matters.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Consumerism, baby.
The Wheel of Time one is like an actual tragedy.
Atrocity. Just disgusting.
It's like we stopped watching it. Like,
is it just bad because it's a bastardization, or like is it a bad story and shit too?
The acting is not good in my opinion.
Stop resisting.
It's not racist, but it's gonna sound it. Just pre-warning. Okay, the story is told through like very like high fantasy, like very like strict rules. The people you're following are like three farm boys who are in a remote part of the country, like in this wooded area.
Yeah.
They are very obviously like white, like European inspired culture, like old European style, and they have very strict rules. Like, for example, like girls have to cut their hair when they become women to like signify that they're gonna become, you know, eligible for marriage, and you can't even date until you're like, you know, an adult. Like, you just don't. Like all these like really old, what you maybe consider a little like strict rules stuff. They exist because it makes.
Yo, this remake sucks, dude. Holy shit! Cancel blooper. What the fuck?
The show just like throws it all away. They make everyone like random races, which doesn't make sense because like the village is like 50 people in the book. You know, there's not enough people to have diversity in a village like that. You know, it just doesn't take. It takes away. It's hard to. I don't want to spoil it because
Jesse said. Jesse said that Wheel of Time is bad because black people are in it. Clip that.
The issue is because one of the dudes is like real white, like he's like pale in the book, and it's important because he stands out because the other people aren't nearly as pale as he is, and it's significant because he's also redheaded. He's the only person in the entire village with like red hair, so he stands out. He's taller, he's paler, and he also has red hair. And as you get to the story,
oh my god.
There's actually like an entire group of people who are called like Almond, and they all have that same appearance. They all are usually pale redheaded people. So you're like, oh, so that's not in this village because everyone from this village has dark hair and are like slightly darker colored skin. So he stands out, right? Like he stands like a sore thumb, which is significant to the story. Because it singles him out, it makes him fine. But like the movie or the show, like everyone's randomly, like they all look different, which doesn't make sense because in little tiny villages, people, you know, marry their cousins and they all look the same.
True. All right.
Or like,
all right. Jesse said he didn't like it because it didn't have enough incest in it. Clip that.
Yeah, but literally that's the problem. Another big one was like they didn't introduce the character at all. Like they just got rid of them, like for whatever reason. And then another character who's super important was introduced like season 1, and instead they introduced him like halfway through season 1, and they just make him a whole different character. In the book, he's like a bard kind of deal. He's like a storyteller, old man with like a long beard, and like you know he's old, hunched over. And oh my god, dude! In this show, he's literally like Western Jesse James cowboy with a guitar. He plays like okay. In the book, he has a harp, or he has a lute, and he has a harp and a flute. But he's like it's like you know old timey storytellers, like with musical instruments, like they carry around and tell stories, right? Like Skyrim sounding stuff.
Yeah.
And in this show, he has an acoustic modern guitar.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
And he's playing power chord Metallica music. And he's not even singing, he's just talking.
That's crazy.
And in the book, you learn that he's like this grand, noble, like, court, like, political figure who's, like, told stories, not just, like, comedies, but, like, kings and queens. And he's noble. He's like the best of the best storytellers. Has a reputation, and in the show they're like, you know what? He's just like Jesse Rockstar. He's Metallica. He's also about 30 instead of 60, and he wears a cowboy hat and leather jacket.
That's crazy. That is actually
like,
awful.
It completely took me out of the show. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna push through it. I'm gonna try my best, and then that I could not. It blew my mind. It actually blew my mind.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like so out of universe.
I need to show you that scene. I need to show you the scene. So I need to find it and clip it for you because it's crazy. It's like the worst. It's not even like a good song. But
is it legit like power chords for real though?
It's actually power chords.
That's crazy.
And we're talking about like a classical like.
Yeah, like a Middle Ages shit should be played. He could have at least done the decent thing and played green sleeves.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like his favorite instrument is like the harp. And he like ended up teaching the kids how to do that because they use it to like make money to get around town and like to get around the country.
Right quick, Andrew and Carlos are getting on, so I'm gonna hop over to the other.
Oh yeah, Andrew was on. Did he leave?
Yeah, no, he's here.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm
But yeah, we're gonna.
No, yeah, you're good. I didn't have a place to jump in, so I just
I heard you come in and never said anything, and I was like, oh, maybe you went to go fix food or something.
Allow me to like just intervene in this conversation, and then I was like, maybe I could, and then the conversation jumped to this, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna. This one's good. I'm just gonna chill. I mean, I'm cool.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this
no,
is-
we're gonna hop over. We're gonna watch the stuff.
All right, yeah. If you guys get done in time, then we'll play some Barrow Trauma.
Damn it.
I'm
It's
hopping
only
on
gonna be
here.
like 3 episodes, so like an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Alright.
just send me a clip of it. Actually, I'm listening to you in a minute, Christian.
If you can find it, dude, I'll watch it. Sounds hilarious.
It's, you know what's the issue is you're gonna watch it out of context, like without knowing the book version of this character.
And
I'm
I
not
might
sure how
actually
you're gonna-
like it.
you
I don't
might
like
actually
the idea of a
okay.
Middle Ages leather jacket wearing man playing power chords. So if it's legit like that and a cowboy hat, I'll vomit.
Yeah, let's watch it together. You want to? Really
Yeah,
fast?
hold
Do you
on.
mind?
Yeah, let me
Okay.
just cut this out of the VOD.
I don't want to. I want to rewatch it now that I've calmed down after the initial rage I felt watching it. I literally went into like a rage. Like, dude, I love these books. Like, they are like
Yeah, I know he's told me about them.
they are one of my biggest like inspirations for
Yeah.
like fantasy and stuff. Like, it's crazy how much you can like find modern fantasy that is inspired by these books now.
Yeah. Are they
And
old?
it's-
I didn't know they were
it's-
old.
They came out in the 90s.
Oh, really?
But he started them. He released them in the 90s, and the last ones came out in like the mid 2000s. But he ended up passing away, still writing out his notes for the last book. His son is also an author though.
So why didn't his son get? Well, is his son
They did.
continuing the
So-
series?
So him and his son got together, and he left them a whole blueprint to finish up the last book's like story.
What did he die from? Did he die from like a sickness?
He had some health issues. But he was also like in his 60s. But he ended up dying, like, you know, before his time really. But
Yeah.
he did get everything written down to tell the story he wanted. It was just the last book. But he ended up writing so much down that they had to actually break it up into 3 separate books because he just wanted to tell the story, right? And it was so much
Yeah.
to the point that he literally died in his deathbed while working on his book. So his son ended up like finishing the book, the last book. It's like, it's crazy, dude. It's a crazy story. Man, it's so. I'm on book 5 right now, and honestly, like every book is blowing my mind. And
I
know,
do want to read it. I have it on my wish list.
Like my brother Ben, his dad and uncle. I don't know if they still do this. I wasn't reading at the time, but there was like a whole convention they held in Georgia every year for the Wheel of Time series, like a huge convention. And Ben's dad and uncle went to it every year. Like they dressed up and did like the whole like.
Is that how you learned about it?
Yeah,
Oh.
they told me to read them, and they wore the outfits and they're like the old timey looking like
Like the
it's not old. I'm talking like Middle Ages. That's like we can think of it.
yeah.
Like tunics and sheepskin and stuff, like really crazy into it. They're like big fans.
That's cool.
But it's a really good series, and you're gonna like if you read it. I think it'll inspire you, honestly, like in terms of storytelling.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I mean, like, honestly, I wish I could write, like, I know you told me they're similar to how Tolkien writes with the descriptiveness of things.
Yeah, I wish I could write like
Because that's what kills me. I feel like I can do dialogue really well. I feel like I can write really good dialogue in my stories.
I've never tried.
But
I've never tried.
but my weakness is describing what's going, like, or just describing scenery, and Tolkien does
Yeah.
it so beautifully, dude. Like, you can
Yeah,
literally
it's
visualize.
insane.
There-
But like where you can see where you are in a book. Like,
Yeah.
You can visualize it perfectly because of their description.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know how. They
I'm
do
not
it.
that good. I don't know how to describe the colors of the areas
That's
or
the
like.
difference though, like between like a hobbyist and like someone who's devoted their life to the art
Yeah.
of writing. Like this dude is also like he was a physicist before he did authors. Before he became a writer.
Yeah.
He actually didn't start writing until he was in his 40s, I believe, which is kind of nice to hear. Like, I always love hearing that people like
Start something late and
find their
become
true
successful.
calling, even when they're like in their 40s or 50s. So like, yeah, he was like an engineer, his whole life, but he'd always been fascinated with like fantasy. So he was able to take his like really like mechanical background and kind of use that to his advantage in his writing. Like he's able to like not like mechanics, but like he's just like he has an attention for detail, right? Because of him being like a physicist or whatever. So he's able to like tell stories in a really nice way. And he's able to focus on things that you may not think are important, and he makes it important. It's just really good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, pull the
I
scene
seen
up.
that link, by the way.
Oh, did you send the link? Okay. They're gonna
Yeah,
pull it
I'm
up on
gonna
your
hop
screen.
off here in a bit. So I need to. Whenever you
React to this whenever I get the live reaction. Oh. Yeah, he really does have like a fucking guitar, doesn't he?
Okay, just for reference, I want to find a picture of. I want to find a representation of like Tom. 1 minute. In my head, he lute or not a lute. He has.
I
Like
mean,
a,
I would assume he
like
didn't have a
harp.
guitar.
He has a harp, right, and
Yeah.
a flute. And they're both like super fancy, like over the top fancy, and it makes no sense for him because he seems like a poor beggar half the time. But then he has like these crazy instruments.
Oh, like in
It's
the show, or no, in the
book.
he
In the
has
book,
like
he
really
has,
expensive
like-
instruments, but he's like
Yeah, they're like
Laura,
gilded and like
please,
ivory and like fancy or whatever. But then he appears to be like a wandering gleeman who has like nothing. His character is very mysterious, even for me now. Like I still don't fully understand why he is who he is. Like in the picture you see there, I sent you, he has like knives in his fingers. He's one of the best fighters in the entire book series. Out of nowhere, he like it always says like knives appeared in his hand out of nowhere, like seemingly out of nothing. He'll have knives. He always has
dexterous.
knives. Yeah, he's like an assassin. He's like he's a political assassin, is what he is.
Yeah.
But it's just like, and again, the other issue with that scene is that's like episode 4, and like halfway, well, it's about like a quarter of the way through the first book. In the book, he appears in the second, like so fermented that the fish had become paste, like liquid.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. Yeah.
But some people are saying that actually smells less because the fermentation is over and there's nothing else to like smell bad.
Yeah.
They have to order another can of it, but it takes so long to ship over here that half the time you get it like that anyway.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's unbearable, like diarrhea smelling. But
I mean, so
I've also heard people say the same thing about durian, and that does not smell nearly as bad as what people make it out to be.
yeah, I think durian's probably just like a really strong. Look, I've smelled.
This is strong.
I've smelled some like really rancid shit when I worked in the hospital, like literal rotting flesh. Like I've smelled that before.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
I've like when oh man, it's awful. That's the worst smell I can think of, and even that didn't really make me gag. It was just like one of those like I don't think surströmming would make me gag because I'm assuming it just smells like a dead rotting fish. Which if you've been a
what I've heard is it smells like rotting fish and diarrhea. That's what I've heard it smells like. You get like a really like undertone of like upset stomach.
Yeah, smells don't really bother me as much
bother
as
me.
like
They
feels. Like if something
Oh,
touches
texture.
me, no. Like if some of the liquid got on me from like opening it, I'd probably be like, oh, gross. Actually, probably not, because in my head I know it's like food. Whereas like if I'm changing a diaper or something, I get shit on my like bare finger. I'm like, oh, disgusting.
I mean, it's barely food, honestly, at that point. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think that's a crazy thing to want to eat, in my opinion. I don't know.
Well,
I think
I've learned a lot from like watching a lot of like food culture videos that like a lot of places do that for flavor because they're so used to everything else.
it's also a lot of times it's like necessity. Like by fermenting it, one of the major like selling points of surströmming is it's so like acidic that bacteria cannot grow in it. Like they've tested it. They're like their government tested it for like 7 years. And they have yet to find a single bacteria that can survive the environment that surströmming creates when it's being fermented. So like, and it's the same idea with like that one Greenland shark. They like ferment.
Oh yeah, I just learned about that recently. Haka or something like that.
It's a necessity thing. Like when you have no other option for food, that might be the only way you can do it, right? So
Yeah.
it's
same.
it's usually necessity, and that necessity becomes tradition, which then becomes like a delicacy or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I'm sure we have something here that's I'm trying to think. It's hard. American culture is so like.
Oh, what is it? The
simple.
Rocky Mountain oysters, like fucking.
Oysters are gross.
No. I'm talking about just testicles, like.
Oh, back in oysters. Yeah. That's also just like a thing of the past, like using every part of the animal, like that's.
Yeah, but I'm saying
that is an interesting choice.
Yeah. Something that like from the. Which that is like an indigenous American. Well, no, I guess a lot of indigenous cultures do that. Not just American.
You live on like land. It's one of the perks of modern life that people don't really take for granted. the choice of what you want to eat rather than like, being forced to take what you can.
Yeah.
That's a very modern luxury that people do not like. Even as recent as like the early 1900s was a dangerous time to eat if you weren't careful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and until the FDA came around, it was like you didn't know what kind of meat you were eating half the time. It was just meat. It was
You're
literally
just glad to
meat.
be able to, yeah, you're glad to live another day.
I'll give me like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you're good.
Alright. I was gonna send you something before I do get off here tonight.
Yeah.
It's a nice PDF for some homework.
Cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah, like this is where I'm at, but it's also where you should be, like where you should have been. I know it's late. I'm not gonna over it.
No, you're right.
So this is what's called like design pattern or program. I guess it is design patterns, and they exist in like in all programming. But there's like some really specific ones that are like super useful for Unity. Like I'm gonna put a thing called like a singleton, for example.
Yeah, I know what singleton is.
There's other ones called like the observer pattern. There's like a factory pattern, which is.
I think I've heard of the observer pattern, but I've never used it. But I have used singletons a couple times.
Yeah. Something called object pulling is also.
Singleton was something that was like a really cool concept when I started learning it, but
I don't really know the purpose of it like outside of Unity because I've never had to use it. But like at least in Unity, a singleton is like it's a class that can only be instantiated as a single time, right? So like the player, for example, a lot of times I make it a singleton. And what that does is it basically tells your program that if the player class is referenced, it's always gonna be the singleton, right? Because there's only ever gonna be one instance of this class. And what that means is you can reference the player singleton from any script in your project without a direct reference to it. Like you don't need a reference because there's only one reference, right? There's only a single player. So you can just literally type player.whatever and immediately have access to the singleton's properties because the program knows that there's only one player. So you don't have to like, you know, like you have like serialized references or whatever.
Yep.
You don't need it with a singleton. But the issue, the problem with singletons is then suddenly you start doing every single singleton, and that's not gonna be a good thing for you.
Yeah.
But it does make something really nice, like the player being a singleton, because you need the player everywhere most times. So if you can easily access it everywhere without any references to it, it's just nice. But I don't know what you're supposed to use it for normally. That might be what it's for, honestly.
I know I did
Like,
mine in web dev. I'll have to
Unity.
look at my notes to remember, but yeah.
Yeah, outside of Unity, I have no idea. But singleton means a single instance of a class.
Yep.
So like, you can't, and like you do a check in Unity to like if another instance somehow exists, you just immediately delete it. You just get rid of it. So there's always just one. I use that one all the time. And I've been trying to learn the factory pattern, which is like, it deals with like constructors and kind of like creating it's literally a factory for like a constructor where you can construct instances of classes and like really modify a class the fly. It's really weird. I don't fully know why I need it, but I do know that like it makes building up complex classes easier in the long run. It's something like it's kind of like high level stuff.
I wonder
like,
why it's called observer. Is it because it like it's
the
looking...
observer pattern is
Is that the one you're talking? Oh, factory. Okay, no,
No.
factory makes sense.
Observer is like a an event thing. So I have looked in this one. I have actually tried implementing it once, and I did get it to work. It's like a way to you have like a middleman basically in this class. Like you have a middleman class that is like almost like a network for all your events, and it observes events triggering and then fires a response to that trigger to the receiving end for you. So it, like for example in the game, maybe when the player attacks, you send a signal saying like, hey, you dealt this much damage, right? And maybe I want to have like at the end of the level a summary saying that's like you dealt this much damage overall, right? Well, normally you need to have some way to tell the enemy how much damage the player dealt directly. But if you have a middleman that can do that communication for you, the end scene and the player don't ever have to have direct communication. You can just have that middleman for everything. That's kind of the idea, I believe.
Yeah.
That's either the observer or the bus thing that I've also been learning about. But
bus?
it's like an event
Battle
bus.
bus.
It's crazy. There's like again, these are all just like theories. They're not like hard concepts. Like they are ways to implement like things you'll be coming upon often. There's not like a single way of creating a system, but there are multiple times where you're gonna need a single thing. So there's like there's standard ways to approach it basically.
Yeah.
Another one I haven't done before, but I need to, and I'm so stupid for not. It's called object pooling. I'm pretty sure you've done.
I've been object pooling, yeah.
Yeah, it's so simple to do where you like preload a group of something so you don't have to keep
Make
making
it kind of
new
like
ones.
transparent, yeah, and like put it. Yeah. It's in the scene the whole time, but you don't like.
Yeah, you see it. You see it
on.
a lot in older games, like where if you can like, get out of bounds in older games, you'll find like a boss model sitting off to the side.
Yeah, just waiting to be moved. Yeah.
Pokemon is famous for that. Like one game I really should have done it for was my Razor clone. Like way back this year. Like, I should have.
I think the first time I did object pooling was
I remember you doing it for one project where you had like these shooting balls coming at like something. You had to like jump or something. It was part of Unity's like little teaching course.
I do remember object, and then I watched a video on it some short time after that, which was kind of crazy because it was just like a random ass video that I saw when I started doing it.
There's just all these things that like all these concepts here like solid. It's not like stupid. Maybe hopefully you've heard that. It's like a what do you call it? It's like a principle, like a way you approach something. The KISS principle is keep it simple.
Yep.
Because if it's simple, it's easy to fix. So you make it as simple as possible. Don't overcomplicate it. And there's one called the SOLID principle, and it's a way to like approach code entirely. Like it's what SOLID stands for is single responsibility. We've heard that one a lot. I know you've heard of single responsibility, where like a method does one thing and it should not do other things.
Yeah. Talking about the object.
So that's the S of SOLID is single responsibility. Open close is the O. Open closed is open for extension but closed for modification. Which is, you've probably seen this in like properties maybe, where they have like getters and setters. And you might have like a public get but a private set. You've seen that maybe.
I don't know if I've seen anything.
Like you'll see like a variable, and then you'll have like in brackets it'll say like get and set. You surely have.
Yeah, I've done getter setters, but like
okay.
I just don't know if I've ever seen them seek or get on private.
Okay, well, so the reason you would have getters and setters normally is like if you do get, right, like get gets called whenever you just like make a reference, right? And then if you have like a variable equals whatever, you're setting it. Maybe you want to be able to get it like freely, but you don't want to have someone be able to set it randomly. Like think of like maybe storing a password, you know? You want the user to be able to set it freely, you know, as long as they pass the security check. But you don't want them to be able to retrieve it freely. So it's a private get, and maybe it's like a protected set or something. So the open close thing is saying when you create something, it should be like a finished product that you don't need to like ever go back into and mess with. But you should have it open to expansion, like that you could expand upon it, but keep it like it's a closed ecosystem, and then maybe expand it as you need to. That's kind of what they're going for there. I think it's a more complicated one, really. I don't know what this one is at all. The Lizkov substitution. I've never heard of this. Let's look at this. It's a subtyping relation. Strong behavioral subtyping. I have no idea what that means. Oh, god dang it. Okay. This is the one thing I struggle with in programming is typing, like trying to make everything type. Like literally everything having like the type is just T. It's where you try
I don't
to
think
make,
I've ever done any typing like at all.
it's hard. It's where you try to like when you're building like a function, like a good example of like a function, like a debug.log or whatever. Like when you think about it, it's a crazy method because you just call it, and I can throw in an integer or a string or just about anything, right? And it just works somehow. And that's because the base level like version of that class called debug.log is typeless. It has no, it's not like you can't only just give it a string. It can receive any type. And then you have to have like a catch-all scenario for each type it may ever get. So like you would have like a typeless version, and then like say you send a string, well then you create like an overloaded version that deals with the string type of it. And then you have one of the integers and everything. So it takes so much effort to do that. Like it's just it's like a really time-consuming way of creating methods. I have some examples I can show you later. That
I saw you. The typing was like one of the things you were doing in the last thing you're showing me, right? Like with the the
I've been trying
brackets.
to. It's hard. It's hard, dude. I still don't fully understand how people would just like do it like without thinking about it. It's like it's definitely a high level thing. Like one of those things where you have to know what you're talking about.
Right.
It's like this is what this is gonna teach us though. This is PDF here.
Where'd you get this from?
This is through Unity actually, but it's written by some dude who's working as as a graphics designer, but like for the gaming industry. Where was it? I was here just a minute ago. Let's see.
What is this man?
Someone named Wilmer Lin. He's a 3D and visual effects artist with 15 years in film and television, who now also works as an independent game developer. Also someone named Thomas Bro Jacobson and Unity engineers Peter. I've never heard of this segregation. I know entities are. We just talked about those. I'm not sure what ISP. It states that no code should be forced to depend on method to oh, okay. So you should never have code that forces dependencies. Well, what is it trying to say? The wiki literally says ISP states that no code should be forced to a method it does not use. So it's saying like a class, if it has a method, it needs a reason to have that method. And if it doesn't have a reason, then you should get rid of it, I guess. Which makes sense, I guess. I mean, like, that's kind of a weird issue. It might be one of those issues where people stick to these design patterns so strictly that they forget
Why
that
they do
sometimes
it?
people, yeah, they're just like doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
I know one of them I do a lot of times is like I'll always have like a getter method when I really should just like have a getter property. Like I'll create a method called like get health or something. And I'll just do it out of habit because it's useful, but then I literally never use it because I can just use the variable for it. That's probably kind of what I was saying is like, yeah, I just don't make stuff that's not useful. And the last one is dependency inversion.
Got a cutscene.
Oh, okay.
Hello? Anyone there?
What?
Perhaps you are a fool. The truth usually betrays people you should know. The key is in the park at the feet of the brain woman. The wrench will loosen the gate. The key will unloose to this. Wait.
This one makes no sense to me.
What
the heck?
What's up?
This one is called dependency inversion principle. Inversion principle. I don't really know what it's trying to tell me. It says the conventional dependency relationships established from high-level policy setting modules to low-level dependency modules are reversed, thus rendering high-level modules independent of low-level modules and implementations. I think what it's trying to say is like a lot of times you'll like build a small piece of something and then you kind of stack those all up together to create like a high-level vision of your project. Like it's like small chunks all connected eventually, you know? And I think what it's trying to say here is you should reverse that mindset, but I don't. There's like two different things. It says high-level modules should not import anything from low-level modules, and modules can be like literally like a class or something.
Yeah.
It says both should depend on abstractions such as interfaces. I kind of know what that means. And then the other thing it says abstractions should not depend on details. Details, such as concrete implementations, should depend on abstractions. I don't know what abstractions are. Don't know. Oh, okay. Abstractions are interfaces. Okay, or something like interfaces. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Let me replace interface to abstraction. So interfaces should not depend on details. Details should depend on interfaces.
Go to the weeks.
What? I'm trying to like process out of my head. I think what it's saying is you. That's what? That is definitely we want to have to look into more. I don't fully understand what it's trying to. I think what it's trying to say is like your details, like maybe all the variables of a class that are like coming from an interface, should be defined by the interface, not by the details themselves, like the variables. Which I do understand why that's in that.
Look at that fella. I don't know how to. Ooh, he's got little lips that are sucking onto the wall. That's cool. Yes.
I'm so past my bedtime. It's gonna be awful tomorrow.
Oh yeah. You got a busy day tomorrow.
I gotta fix something at work.
At what time?
6.
Oh shit! Yeah, you should go to sleep. What the hell?
I know. I've been reading this little PDF though.
Good dude. Damn, I didn't know you got up that early.
I've been on YouTube, but if she opens, she opens
still loving it there? I saw she just went on a freaking like
Yeah,
like
Las Vegas.
yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's like the store manager now. She
Yeah, I saw.
Grand
They got
Tour.
fucking big in the world.
She they sent her to Las Vegas for 4 days fully paid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gave her like a super nice hotel. And
Did you get to go with her or no?
I could have, but it would have been like hundreds of dollars. and I
Oh,
would've
they
just,
didn't.
like,
They didn't cover a spouse. That sucks. Yeah.
Like yeah, they covered her part of it entirely. I would have pay for like a ticket. The hotel room would have been covered, I guess, but you know it's.
But like the other stuff.
I mean, it wasn't like she was just like on vacation. She was like in conferences all day, every day.
Gotcha.
But it was like a. I guess she said they were like showing off a lot of like the new policies they're gonna be putting into place, and also like showing off.
Is that where their
like,
home office is, or is that just a place for a meeting?
I think they're not. I think they're like located in the South. I think they were just going to Vegas for the convention or whatever. It's a convention, right? So they were just like showing off what they had coming out and like policy changes. And it was meant to be for like leaders of the company. So they told them that they're gonna try to do it every 3 years. So that's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Maybe you'll be able to catch the next one and just go with her, and maybe you guys will have some downtime somewhere.
Yeah, she had like 1 day where she got to do whatever she wanted.
Yeah, I saw. That's what I saw. I saw pictures of like Vegas, and I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, she went to Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, that's what it
Gordon
was. I
Ramsay
think.
restaurant.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what the one I saw.
She got the like she loves watching those shows, like
Same.
the Hell's Kitchen and like like Kitchen Nightmares and stuff.
Oh, I love Kitchen Nightmares. I'm not crazy
Yeah.
about Hell's Kitchen, but I do like Nightmares.
Yeah, we don't watch Hell's Kitchens as much anymore because it's so much drama.
Yeah.
And it's like teenager level drama.
Yeah.
But
But
like
seeing how
like,
nasty some places are is crazy.
Yeah, I love Kitchen Nightmares for that. And then the one we watch more, we watch Kitchen Nightmares like 10 times now. I swear. She'll like have it on repeat every few months. But oh my god, what the Master Chef? That's one that she likes a lot. Where he like brings in like a group of people and they'll like either narrow it down to like the best one. Anyway, she went there and she spent like I can't remember how much it was now. It was like 180 or something for the meal, which is a lot. But she got like the dream meal that she'd been wanting. The oh my god, what is it called? It's like big piece of meat and like
Beef Wellington?
Yeah, beef Wellington. Yeah, she got that
I was
finally.
gonna try that. Yeah. Say it was delicious.
She's wanted that for like
Yeah.
literally since I met her. So she was really happy to get that, and she like ate the whole thing, and she had like a bunch of cool sides, and
Hell yeah.
that was her like 1 night of like free time basically, and then the rest of it she was at like conferences the whole time. But yeah, it's cool. She's making a ton of money, like
Yeah.
more than anywhere else around here really would pay.
Really, yeah.
I can't remember how much she makes an hour now, but it's. I want to say it's like 36.
Damn, yeah, that is good.
Yeah, especially for around here.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like for like local like Fort Payne, Haverhill areas, that's like a comfortable living for most people.
Yeah, for real.
As long as you're like not being stupid with your money. Like we aren't like. We're still like check to check for the most part.
Are you feeling
But
better?
like we're able to set aside some if we need to. And we're also able to
This
buy
place
stupid
is
things
different
like a
from
brand
what I
new PC every
remember.
now and then. So yeah, she has a really great
I
job,
guess
and
Things
she
never
says she
really
loves
stay
it,
the
so
same, do they?
that's the most important thing is she seems to
She's
actually
alright,
enjoy
yeah.
it. Like, because that's my biggest issue even now is,
I guess not.
and I hate it because I feel like I know that she can like support both of us right now,
I don't
like at least financially.
But it gets you down
it's-
sometimes.
don't
Yeah, it does, and like it's also like
think she's here anymore.
I've never had a job where I was
James.
like, man, this is great. I love this. Like, especially factory jobs. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, I'd
I,
kill
like,
myself doing
wanted-
that, yeah.
I wanted to kill myself the whole time, right?
Yeah.
She
Hey,
tried
Mama.
TS Tech with me, and that first night after she got home from
doesn't-
that, she like literally cried for like an hour in the bed because it was just so rough,
She doesn't
right?
wanna see
Like
me anymore.
the idea of like that kind of job is awful. Like
Why
I know
would you
some
think
people don't
that?
mind it. I am not those people. I know that sounds awful. Like, I'm
No,
not
no,
saying
no, no,
that-
no. It's not a. It's like different
like,
people have different
mentally,
passions
it
about.
drives me
Yeah.
insane. It drives me insane. The repetition,
happy
the
to see you.
monotonous repetition, like God, dude. So like, I've just never had the.
Happy to see me?
I mean, like, I think programming is my thing.
Alive,
Like, I think
I
I
mean.
do enjoy programming.
Mhm.
I think that is my
Oh.
passion.
Yeah.
It is for sure right now. You know, like in terms of like, it's not like I enjoy it like I do like music or something.
Seeing the result of it
I
though is
better
something
get
that brings
But
you
going.
I can,
joy.
as like a job, I can be passionate about it
Still
and
don't want me
like
to go
not
with
hate
you?
it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a hobby that I want to like
We stick
play
together, we
guitar
might
for
just make it
fun,
out
you
of
know.
here.
Mhm.
But it's something I can definitely be passionate about, like on
where?
like a professional level.
Yeah.
And I just never had
This
had
town.
that working like a factory job, like
Silent
fast
Hill.
food or something. Like, you know, honestly, like fast food jobs aren't that bad, like kitchen work,
No, they're not bad.
but it's just the pay. You know, the
No,
pay
it's
is
fine.
minimum
Yeah,
wage.
well, that's why I got lucky with Walmart, because Walmart does pay me like insanely good out of all the things I've done.
Yeah, Walmart pays decent, right? Like 15.
Yeah,
or,
they
you know,
do it
like-
to step out the
This year
competition.
was
Plus, they have a
all here, did you?
crazy rollover rate, so
Yeah.
they.
Walmart was
A little
awful for
girl?
Cynthia, and it was terrible for me too. when I
Well,
worked
what
in
does she do?
the factory.
Cashier,
Alright.
like CSM stuff.
She nah, she was when she worked at Walmart, she was like
Angela?
she stocked the
You
like
alright?
makeup area, like the health and body, I
Angela?
don't know what you
No.
call it. She just did stocking, like she stocked all those places. But they were also
Please?
like training her to be like a supervisor or
shouldn't
something.
here.
They did all this training for her, and they like started actually having her work that job
Angela,
as like
it's
testing
okay.
her out, and they kept testing her and kept
Hold on one
testing
second.
her.
Something crazy's happening.
No, you're good. They just never gave her the job, basically, but she was working that job.
Yeah, well, that sounds like Walmart. Sorry, some weird character. Some character showed up and he's like, "Come on, man, let's travel together." She's like, "No." Anyway.
Yeah, she's really fortunate. Oh my god, what is the cat doing?
Try to cut off your PC again,
I
dude.
just heard the toilet lid fall. Oh my god. Oh, that's weird. We what? Just now? Yeah, why? No, but he was just in there. Did you not hear that? He slammed the freaking toilet seat down. He. No, it sounded like the toilet seat to me.
Bro, if she's gotta get up
Oh.
at 6 in the morning, why is she still awake? Holy shit.
Oh, the cat woke her up.
Oh, okay. That's what I say. Damn,
Loud.
y'all are gonna die.
No, the
What's
cat.
the-
The toilet seat we have is like loud.
So y'all are living on your own again now, right? Not with
Yeah, we live in an apartment in Fort Payne.
Cause I remember for a little while you guys were living with her parents, and
Yeah,
I
which
thought
was
you,
fine.
I thought last you told me that you had gotten out on your
Yeah,
own.
no, we moved down here about 3 years ago now, actually. About
That's
3 years.
crazy.
It is crazy.
Um,
It's nice. I mean, it's not like perfect, the apartments, but they're not.
No,
bad.
but you're by yourself, and I mean you're with each other. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love like my parents and Joanna's parents are great too, but like
Oh yeah.
I would
I'm
never
so-
want to live with either one of them.
Like, I'm so thankful that they were like.
Yeah.
It was very fortunate that we were able to that even have that option when we
Right.
needed it.
Right.
But it is like a mental toll
Mhm.
when you have like no privacy, you know.
Yeah, no privacy. You're kind of like, I don't know about you, but I always feel like when me and Joanna split up the first time after we had Dahlia, I felt like such a burden moving in with my mom, and my mom never did anything to make me feel that way.
Yeah, they didn't either. They were always.
But
super,
I
like-
just always felt like so defeated.
Yeah, it is because it is defeating feeling.
Yeah.
Right now, though, her older brother, and his girlfriend, maybe they're engaged now. They have a child. They have a new. Well, she's about to be 2 years old now, actually. But when we moved out, they were living in California at the time, and you know it's expensive. So they came
Yeah.
back,
Why were
and
they doing that? Were they trying
took-
to like break into show business or something? Because
Well,
I know.
they have some family in California.
Oh, okay. So not like.
And that family is pretty rich. It sounds like they have like businesses out there that make a lot of money. Anyway, they ended up coming back around the time we moved out, which is perfect because then they took our spot, and then quickly had a child. So her parents love it because now they're getting, they get to see their
Oh, they're-
granddaughter
yeah.
every day.
Yeah,
you
that's
know, so
true.
yeah, which I like. They don't have an issue with it. It's great. And she's super cute. Iris is her name.
Yeah, it's
Um,
cute. That's the brother that's name's Panda, right? or that everybody
name-
calls Panda. Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah,
not as,
yeah,
I would
not-
hope nobody named their
yeah.
kid Panda.
Yeah,
I've only heard of him. I've never, but it's just crazy all the people that like exist that you don't really know, even though they ran in the same circle as like you know.
Yeah, he's a little older than us. He's like 32.
Yeah.
He just turned 32, I believe, which I think is older than. He's a little younger than my older brother Ben, but he's around that age.
Oh really?
But yeah, he had his daughter is turning 2 in January. She's super funny. She's super cute.
Yeah.
And I know that when Cynthia sees her, she's like, maybe we should have her own.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. It was crazy though. Is when I always like we talked about when we first got married, like we would discuss the kid thing when we were 30, and I'm like, that'll never happen. And now I'm like literally a few months away from turning 30.
You kind of want
And,
one.
no, I don't.
Oh.
I mean, I definitely have that urge.
I know you're saying I know where you're at. I thought I knew where you're at. That's why it was gonna surprise me if you said you did, because I remember you're like having one wouldn't be the worst thing that would happen to me. It's just like
it wouldn't be the worst thing ever, but I don't want one.
Yeah.
But like if it happened, I know Cynthia says she doesn't, but I think she does.
Yeah.
Well, now her stance is if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, that's not what we should be.
Yeah, that's
letting
how
your
they
guard
get you,
down.
man. That's the.
Yeah. But like I can't. I understand. Like Iris is super cute. Like she's really funny.
Yeah.
Like
I really, just from experience, I don't feel like one is awful. It really isn't. Having
one
two,
would be okay.
yeah,
I think after
having
one,
two,
two is-
3, 2 wasn't even that bad, but it is definitely like oh shit.
yeah.
But 3 is crazy. Don't do 3. Never do 3.
I mean, I know from experience, growing with like 3 brothers.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why I'm telling you. Yeah, you do
Yeah.
know.
I know what that means. I know that it means like it's a permanent,
It's over. Yeah, you're done for.
like, it's a permanent drain on everything.
Yeah.
I think 1 is ideal,
Yeah.
and 2 is max. It should
Yeah.
be the maximum opinion, because then you're neutral in terms of like what you're giving back. You know, like
Yeah, I
You have
agree. I
one.
do agree with that too. Yeah.
like if you have 1 child, when you die, you're now
Replaced. Yeah.
you're -1 in terms of like replacement. You're making space, and if you have 2, by the time I die, it will be a neutral. We won't have added or taken. We have just kept it the same number. After 2, it's greedy, in my
Yep.
opinion.
No, I get it.
I don't.
No.
say that.
No. I know you're
Not
not saying
in a
that.
negative
Yeah, you're not
Not
saying
you.
like. Yeah.
But like in terms of like
I think the same way.
resources
Yeah, I
and,
think the
like,
same
you know,
way.
it is a selfish decision that we are able to make in the modern day. You know what I mean? But like,
No, yeah.
it's a choice at that point, in my opinion. Like, it's not like you need to have more than 2 children.
Yeah.
2 makes sense. 2 makes sense to me by a lot. Like, if I'm being like really scientific about it, 2 obviously makes sense, right? But after that, you're like, well, is there really a need for you to have more children when everyone else can also have 2 kids? You know, not really. You know,
But yeah, but like the thing is, and I'm not justifying, I'm not saying it on my behalf, but luckily not everybody, like this generation, even though I don't believe what all these fucking conservatives are saying about we're at a deficit, we're definitely not at a fucking deficit. But
the population.
yeah.
Oh, no, we definitely are, but it's a good thing.
Yeah, true.
Like, no, like it is.
Yeah, no, yeah, that is true. Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah,
The
it
thing
is
they're
true.
concerned about is not like the lack of children. They're concerned with the lack of factory workers.
Yeah.
That's what they're concerned
Yeah.
about. They're not. Yeah, the same thing with Japan right now. There's a lot of these countries that have like really bad healthcare and like child services are for sure in a population deficit because it's too expensive or it's too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. So when people have more than 2 kids, it's like luckily we're gonna. I agree that about to the individual it is still selfish, but I don't think it's necessarily a negative because unless they can't take care of it, then it is a negative and selfish, and you should get shot.
Yeah. Like my parents should not have had 4 children with the jobs they had.
Yeah.
But they made it work or whatever. But they definitely should not have adopted another 4 or 5. Like that's irresponsible. But if you're like a millionaire, you can afford that, right? That's not going to be like a financial strain.
See, that is a problematic too, though, because then it's like only the elite are like not allowed to,
there
but
are
like
issues with that.
yeah. But I mean, I agree with what you're saying. Like, I get it. I get the thought behind
I
it.
think it's my thing is like if there's a financial strain because you have children, it's gonna negatively affect the child.
Mhm.
And at that
Yep.
point, it would be better to
Yep.
not have had it at all than to have a bad one. As bad as it sounds.
Yeah,
Like,
no. I mean, like
because
if
you're
you're gonna,
raising someone with trauma at that point,
Yeah.
and they're gonna have a rough time at it. At that point, you should have just not have had it. You know,
well,
like if we ever do end up having children and we have more than 2, or if we hit the number 2 sometime ever, immediately like getting a
Snip it.
vasectomy or whatever it's
Yeah,
called,
that's good.
immediately.
Yeah.
Because like that's the limit in my opinion. Like
Oh, good.
it's too much. Like
Mm.
I could see like
I'm not even talking about
like,
financially. I'm talking about like just the stress
like,
of
yeah.
having 3 kids.
That's
Is
the whole other
it's
thing. I just
crazy.
think money-wise.
No.
That is my
I think the
biggest
thing
concern.
is, a good parent knows how to make, like you said, make it work and not traumatize the kid. I mean, the thing I was gonna piggyback off that, everybody says they have trauma, whether they're like fucking billionaires or whether they're like, so anybody can find a reason to be traumatized. We're really good at like, you know, like latching on to sad shit as
Undue
humans.
trauma due to the like financial strain that's something you can you can't control it, but like
You can plan appropriately for sure.
you can try, you can do more than just oops, you know, like that's not enough, like that's not enough effort on the parents' part if you just like don't bother to try to prevent unwanted. But I don't know, like then you start getting to like, what is the word? There's like a word for people who think like genetic based.
Yeah, you're eugenics.
Yeah, eugenics. It gets dangerously.
Which
close
is what
to
Nazis were into. Yeah.
But I don't think it's negative. Like
I don't think
it has
eugenics
a-
is bad, if that's what you're about to say.
I think it's not bad when it's thought about correctly, but the way some people think about it is
When it's not passing on certain like illnesses and stuff, I think eugenics is
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Yeah, like if you have like a 99%.
But if you're saying you want,
child with a debilitating disease that's gonna kill him as well,
yeah,
don't. You know,
yeah,
just don't.
100%, yeah, 100%.
I know as a human you feel like you deserve to have a child, but like why at that point, you know, like that's just a
Well, you
it's-
could always
it's-
adopt, you know. But genetically,
like-
it is, you know, as the species we are, we do feel like we should.
yeah, it's that
Innate
need to
nature.
That's one of my you know, and what's so awful is like I always tell that, like that's my thought process is like it's crazy that people spend thousands of dollars on like IVF when like literally tens of thousands of children exist in foster care.
Yeah.
But you know, I also understand.
Yeah,
I understand that
Because the
desire.
part of you that wants it, you feel like is like your genetic, like, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
I
a
wanna
desire to have your
procreate.
own.
Yeah.
way. But it's really weird. Like my morals say you should just adopt, but then I think my instinct is you need to try to have your own. You know, like it's like
I always wanted to have one and then adopt another, and I fucked up and I had 3. So
yeah, you're.
if I ever hit it and become rich, I will try to like equal out my karmic world impact by adopting 3 as well, because I have so much love and I do love kids. It's just like the financial aspect of it is like the hardest part. It's like if I could adopt 3 right now, I would, because
adoption is also super expensive. That's another issue. You spend more money adopting than you would having a natural pregnancy.
Yeah.
Or an IVF pregnancy, even maybe. I mean,
I
it's
don't know.
so expensive.
But yeah, I do know it is expensive.
Like thousands of dollars for like someone down the street. We're not talking like you know,
Yeah, not the fucking like African babies that white blonde women adopt to
those
look
are
better.
tens of thousands.
Yeah.
That's such an expensive process.
Or the Vietnamese ones that are disabled so they can like look cool. I hate that shit so much. I don't know. I just feel like there's something fetishized about that, and it makes me kind of sick.
It is something like that.
It's like not like a sexual fetish, but just like a cultural fetish. Like
it's like an attention thing.
Yeah, they're like
look what I did.
Look how different my adopted baby is from your adopted baby. You couldn't even tell your baby was adopted.
That was how my mom thought about adoption for sure.
Yeah.
It was a way to give her attention from other people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It wasn't about the interest of the child, and I think that's a terrible way to approach.
100%. Yeah, it should be.
But that is the way most people approach it, unfortunately.
That and the paycheck you get for not for adoption, but for what's the other one?
foster care.
Fostering. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that much, but it is something.
Yeah.
People do abuse that system for sure because of the money.
Oh yeah, I hear a lot of stories about people who like neglect the kids. I don't. Your mom didn't really neglect the kids. She just.
I
I mean, maybe you guys. Yeah, maybe.
No,
Maybe.
I would say they did. I would say they abused that system themselves for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason I don't have any contact with her at all.
Yeah.
She's just. I mean, I know she appears.
No, I mean, I get it. I remember the time you left. You know, for a few days or whatever. I was like, "Yo, you good?" And then you kind of. I heard like different versions of the story from everybody, but everybody kind of agreed on one thing, and that's that your like mom was a little wacky,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that you were just like the most outspoken about it.
Yeah, I definitely was. I don't know. It's just I don't even know what that situation is anymore.
Yeah.
I just tried to avoid it.
But you talked to all your brothers, right? Like except Ben, right?
I don't talk to Ben just because he's in Huntsville, and I don't have any way to contact him really, other than like RuneScape one time. But yeah, I talk to Wesley and Will pretty often. I haven't talked to Julio in forever, sadly.
Bro, I think I no. I thought
he has a kid now, actually.
Yeah, I knew that.
I haven't met him, but me and him have about a 30-day friend streak on Duolingo. So that's cool.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, that's actually my interaction with Julio these days. Is we have friends quests that we do on Duolingo, and our friend quest streak is about 30 days long right now.
What language y'all learn together? Spanish?
I was doing Japanese recently, but my main one is Spanish. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say.
I think he's doing Japanese though.
I was gonna say like you could just hit him with some Duolingo lines. Yeah, just randomly message him like konnichiwa.
I hope like that he actually is aware that that's like it's like almost funny that that's how we communicate.
Yeah.
I don't know if he even understands it as me. I hope he does.
Yeah, that'd be sad if it wasn't.
It's not like we have any issues. It's just like he's
grew up and has his life. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a family. He does his thing. He's busy. Like this is how it is sometimes.
Plus, also, I don't know how nobody can say like how it is for somebody who's been adopted. Being an adult man.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, we were super like me and Julio.
Yeah, Julio was cool. Yeah, I remember like at the end of us hanging out.
I might have been closer to him than like Wesley or Will for the longest time. Like me and him were super close.
Yeah.
We hung out like a ton. Like we played video games together. Like he was like a legit brother. Like he had. Like he's cool. He's a cool dude. But he got kind of weird as he got older. Like with girls and stuff. He was just like kind of like obsessive.
Oh yeah.
So every time he got a girlfriend, he would like completely get absorbed in that, which is kind of, I guess it's like
a normal teenager thing to do.
Yeah,
I think.
very. And I think he's just like kind of like stuck in that kind of maturity level. Like, I mean, he's married now, which is whatever. But...
Hey, I think I'm at that scene you were talking about.
Oh, really? Sure.
The stairs. I mean, 2 has one of those as well, but 4. Yeah, I'm sharing right now.
It should be a creepy sound. Oh, this might be. Oh.
Yeah. You want to just listen to the sound?
It just keeps going down.
I've been running for a minute.
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
finally made it. No, I had been traveling the stairs.
Yeah,
reached the end of the long staircase.
Yeah, that was definitely what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that so weird?
I was about to turn around.
Yeah, I think a lot of people used to. But what's even cooler about that staircase is it's a physical staircase. They didn't just like teleport you.
Oh yeah, they're not doing a loop. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's actually like it's completely like if you use like
a
debugger.
Yeah.
Completely there actually.
And if I went all the way back up, I'd deal with it again.
Yeah, it's actually like it's not like a trick, like a programming trick. It's like a legit staircase they have built all the way down, which is kind of rare.
Yeah, that is because most games do that whole like, okay, here it is.
They'll have you like teleport you back to the beginning and then like make it appear. Yeah, which now you have to like wonder like where are you at this point? Like how deep is
Yeah, for real.
It's like it's one of those like kind of like it takes you. It's like a weird emotion. Like it breaks it, but it also makes it even more immersive. It's like unbelievably deep into the ground. I love that. I think it'd be really cool when they did try to make a horror game, but I think it would be
I had
so
an
fun.
idea for one recently.
I have never had a good idea for a horror game.
I haven't either because I've always thought like what I like is creepy, and I can't think of creepy things because it's not creepy until I see it happen. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Uncanny Valley would be a really kind of easy concept. Just like have. I also like this is something too that's kind of wild that I really enjoy. I really enjoy those games that you didn't know were creepy until you see like what's going on when your back's turned or something. You know.
Yeah.
Like a game where every time you turn your back, everybody starts staring at you. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, one of my favorite, like, I don't know what you call it, like, storytelling tropes, I guess, is the flawed narrator, where, or like, not flawed,
Impartial or whatever.
Unreliable narrators, where, like, you're being told a story from one point of view, and that's your only point of view you're being told.
And then, like, there's a detail that reveals
that, yeah, like, you learn that either the story was never true or completely false or, like, not fully told properly.
Yeah.
I think those are...
I think that's so... I bet that's, like, so hard to pull off, too, you know? Because you're, like... Because you gotta give, like, a detail at some point that shows that you can't believe everything this person says.
You don't even have to, really. Like, I think Bioshock did a really good job of, like... That Bioshock is a great example. Where, like, you go through the whole game and...
Wait, which one?
The first one.
Okay. Yeah.
You play the whole game, and, like, throughout the whole game, Fontaine is, like, helping you do all these things. And then at the very end, you learn that the reason you've been doing these things is because he has mind control over you. And every time he says, "Would you kindly," he triggers that control over you.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. I forgot about that, yeah. That was a cool reveal.
You've done is to his benefit.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's like a crazy...
Yeah, that was a good twist. I forgot about that twist. I don't know how I forgot about that.
Cool. It's one of my favorite twists of all
Bioshock
time.
1 was a masterpiece for sure.
It was.
I could not get into 2 as much, even though I do like it, but I still have not beat it. But I've gotten far. I just keep getting.
It's good. The ending is good. It is a good ending, by the way. Like 2 has a.
I need to finish it. I'm gonna finish it because I need to play the third one because that's the one that everybody says is the best.
I have never played Bioshock Infinite.
Okay.
I've played the opening and I have yet to beat it before. Past the opening. I don't know why. I think it really is because I love the first one so much. Like
yeah, one is amazing. Yeah.
But I have heard that the Infinite is one of the most like clever design ones.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like gameplay and stuff, it's really clever.
Anyway, so I'm guessing I'm in a prison now because what it showed me was there was a prison camp that was converted into, or there was a prison that got converted into like a Civil War POW camp, and then they skewered motherfuckers here. So that's the history behind this now.
Totally normal.
Yeah.
It would be cool to make a horror game, but I just think it's fun. I think
it is. I mean, it's easy to do jump scares, I think, but like.
I don't even need to do that. Like, people are so like... I think atmospheric horror is the best type of horror.
100%, yeah. Things that just make you uneasy.
It's also the hardest one, too.
Yeah, I agree with that, too.
I think the reason horror is such a hard thing for me to even want to approach is because I think horror... It's hard to say that word properly every time. I think horror genre is like 90% music. Honestly,
yeah,
atmosphere makes such a big impact. Like, I mean, this is kind of silly, but me and Cindy just watched The Family Man. Have you watched that movie with Nicolas Cage?
Never heard of that.
It came out like in 2000 or something. But it's like Nicolas Cage is like a wealthy bank, like a wealthy stock trader or something. I don't know. He's super rich in this movie. But he made a decision at one point in his life to like leave his girlfriend in America and go to England for like school. And that was like the big like changing pivotal moment of his life. And anyway, he gets like a chance on Christmas to see what his life would have been like with her if he had stayed with her instead. It's actually a pretty good little movie. It's like a kind of like a bittersweet movie. Anyway, there's this one bit of the, like throughout the whole movie we were like kind of making jokes because Nicolas Cage is so like over the top, you know?
Yeah, he's goofy. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were like, this could have been a great, like we could take this movie, and if we just replaced the music with like creepy music, it would be an amazing horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Cause like just some of the scenes are so crazy, There's like one scene where he like is chasing the wife around the house for like cake that she stole from him, and it's like it's because he's so intense. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And if you just put creepy music there, it'd have been like a straight up horror scene of like some dude chasing his wife like about to murder her. But because the music is happy and they're laughing, it's fine, right?
Yeah.
But it's just because the music that helps you understand that this is an okay thing. Like it's not scary. It's okay. So I think and the reason I'm saying music is the hard part is because music is hard. I still have yet to ever approach music in video game design, and I don't really want to right now. It's such a whole thing to get into.
It's like a whole almost. I like this feature they're doing here where it's telling you to press E to jump. You press E and he hesitates, and you gotta press it again.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I like that. It's just a good representation of like how hesitant you would really be to do some shit like this. I would never. I would just be like, well, I'm gonna die, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
Nothing in my soul could ever convince me to like jump down a fucking huge endless pit. That's just one thing I would never do.
I think in reality he would have left immediately when he got to this town if he could. Like, I think once he gets to this town he's stuck. But
Yeah. That's what
tried to
happens.
immediately,
By the time you start
know,
seeing shit, you're done for.
Yeah, I think people's instinct would have been to immediately turn and flee.
I think if I got a letter from my wife from... Oh shit, hold on. If I would have gotten a letter from my wife that had been dead 3 years prior to the letter, I would have just been like, nah, somebody's fucking with me.
Yeah, it's a spam, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just the IRS or something.
Yeah.
Ain't no big deal.
This is one of the guys
Just
that's in...
put the gun to their head and...
This is one of the survivors that I found. One of the 4 people.
Oh, hi, James.
It's like a little kid.
What
almost.
happened here?
Yeah.
Like clothes he's wearing.
I don't know. Just came
Which I'm
at me.
assuming is implying he's been down here since he was a small child.
No. He's just, I think he's just some guy who got bullied a lot, so he's just, like, stunted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He made me do it.
Okay, calm down, Eddie. Any idea why he would do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere.
Well, I guess I'll discussing. I figured you were watching.
Tried sneaking up
I
on
like
me
his
in
own
the
doubt.
dark.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah,
I
you're
heard
probably tired.
footsteps,
You
so
need
I
to go to
turned
bed.
back and he was right there.
I was about to bring up.
And you could tell that he wanted to hurt you.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way he looked at me, I just had to do it.
They did such a good job with his facial model.
I thought you said he came at you.
I noticed that yesterday,
Yeah,
or whenever it was, while she played this.
Yeah.
I could see it in his eyes.
And I think it's motion capture. Which
Oh
is
yeah, most of them are now.
so frustrating. It's such a
Kept
cheat
looking
sheet.
at
Like
me.
it's such a cheat.
I know.
Making fun of me.
It's not cheaty, but it's like
I told him not
like,
to, but
no
he didn't
indie dev is
listen.
gonna be able to afford that really.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
good.
No indie games. Yeah, for sure.
You can't just kill someone because
Though I have seen some indie devs do like a
There is a lot of there's a lot of open XR stuff. Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of open XR stuff you can do with like
there is
smartphones
ways you
and
can
shit.
approach it now, but it's still not easy.
Yeah,
You have to,
and it's
like-
not gonna look as good as this, where you can read emotion
No.
on face and stuff.
Your face, James.
I saw one dude do like his animations for
How
his
did
like
you do?
sword fighting character, like
The
the
guy's dead when I
fighting
got here.
animations. He did like a home
got
in his
you, didn't I?
backyard, and they ended up looking really good.
Yeah.
And he did like a
Well,
whole setup
anyway.
video of how to do it,
I
but it's
better
still
get
a
going.
lot of effort.
Unreal has a lot of face scanning support.
You're gonna go out there.
But also Unity has like a huge asset library of like pre-built animations. Not facial, but like body, and it like rigs and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not like again like no one expects the indie game to have a motion capture level of animation, you know. And if they do, then they're stupid for assuming that they're gonna have that. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. My
I think
games.
motion capture is great, but
It is great for, and it's like what I was gonna say, like for something like this where it's like that you're trying to get like body language and everything incorporated into it. So you see his face with fear and hesitation, and you're like, okay.
maybe like in 2000 when this game came out, that subtlety was not you couldn't get that subtle detail in the characters' responses. Now you can tell more story through the characters' facial responses, because that tells a lot, you know, the way people react to something.
Yeah,
And if you're talking about like the PS1 days, it's like just like literally.
Were they even
create,
human?
They create like a low poly model and then slap on a PDF or a PNG file of like the actual human face, and they're like, yeah, man, it
Stretched
looks pretty
weirdly.
good. No, this is fine. Yeah, the ear, it's gone. It's fine though.
So you want to get a rifle soon.
But yeah. When do you think you'll be free again? To, like,
tomorrow I gotta take my son to what is it? Speech therapy. So I should be good either after that or before that. But I'll let you know. Today I would have been free after you got back, but I cooked, and then after that you didn't message me back until like a little later, and I was already getting ready for this or some shit. I don't know. I was doing something.
Well, I usually am gonna wait till you message me, just because I know that you're busy. So
Yeah.
You need to be the one who initiates the messaging at this point.
Gotcha.
Because I don't know when you're free. And I'm almost always free.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll be free tomorrow, like pretty much all morning.
Okay, so yeah, I'll try to wake up early. Today I
mean, I know you're not gonna.
It's
like already 1 a.m.
Severe headache. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean I do.
I'm gonna be reading this document, like this book here tomorrow.
Okay.
I really think you should too.
Oh,
you have
yeah.
free time.
I'll download it for sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's just a PDF file.
I usually read before I go to bed, so yeah.
I'll just send you the link to the website itself that has the PDF as a display. So you can just like scroll through it and download it. I honestly think that reading stuff like this is better than watching a video on it. There's the actual like link to the Unity site that has a PDF as like a interactive scroll thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been watching videos on some of these these design patterns, and it's just really hard sometimes to grasp what they're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
Because they make assumptions. Sometimes it's better to be able to read it and take it at your own pace.
Yeah.
But these are like, I don't know. I think this is gonna help you get into the mindset of game design better, like how to approach problems in game design easier, which is important. It's pretty important. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's so hard to see where you are, where anyone is really. And they're like, it's like again, there's so many that you don't know you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Or that you know that it's hard to know what you don't know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll find a competency test and I'll take it.
No, that's not what I want. I'm just like, I think those are stupid, honestly. I don't know, like the way like what was his name, Alex, right? Alex.
Yeah.
Like the way he was talking how he was like failing that Java class. That blows my mind. Like.
Yeah, dude, his classes are like, you would think mine being the like boot camp would have been worse than his, but no, his coding shit was like actually bad. Like, it really was. Like just
like bad art.
No, just like bad support and bad curriculum.
Yeah, so like it's really hard to know. Like when I was talking to Sphinx, like it blew my mind how like little he seemed to know.
I know, like, and I love the guy, but I was telling him, I was like asking him questions when I was going through my boot camp, and he was like, "What? I've never used that." And I was like, "Bro, you've got a job doing this."
Yeah, he was having like, and this is not on him. Like,
no, yeah, I'm not saying that about him either. Yeah,
he picked it up quick enough.
Yeah,
but he was having like trouble understanding.
And he went to college too, mind you. I'm sure he told you that.
Yeah, he told me. Yeah, that's like kind of blew me away. He was having issues with like the concept of like assigning variables sometimes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I think it's also maybe like a bit of a like, what do you call like imposter syndrome? Like you don't want to appear.
Yeah, that's like my biggest thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think some people know it, they're afraid that they're wrong, so they just be quiet instead, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's better to be wrong and then learn from that than to assume that you never ever tested it. You know, like, you could be right or you could be wrong. You can't learn until you like talk about it. And and I think he was kind of open to the idea of learning But then so I don't know. So we had he said he was going to Godot instead because he couldn't figure out the C# stuff, which again blew my mind. I don't know how.
Yeah, I feel like C# pretty, like, it's still out of all the ones I did Python alongside Alex, and I really liked Godot better. I mean, sorry, C# better.
Python's great.
I think it's a good mid-level, like, language where it can be super complicated or super simple.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is not on you. I'm not making fun of you or like saying you're bad. I think people who are focused on the best language or like what language is good or bad are still stuck in the fundamentals. They don't fully.
Yeah, well, no. I'm talking about the like conceptually, like I enjoy like JavaScript. I hated that shit the whole time. Not because it was hard, because it was messy. The formatting was awful.
Yeah, that's a fair thing to be upset about. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Java's the same way where it's like kind of messy, but like it's better than not Java. Sorry, Python. Sorry, I don't know Java.
I think the only reason Python looks messy is because of like is an indentation based, like indent based or whatever.
Yeah, I don't like
there's
that.
so much white space, but white space matters in Python. Same thing with Godot. White space is good. GDScript is basically Python.
Yeah.
But Java is like super strict, like more than C# even.
Yeah.
But,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think C# when I'm saying stuff like that, I'm only meaning based on like formatting and stuff, like not necessarily like the I don't know.
But again, like it's fine to like think that you need to like find the best language. It's one of the most common asked questions for beginners is, what language should I learn? You know, what's the best language for Unity? Which is silly, but that's a common one I see.
Does it support any other languages?
No, it doesn't.
That's what I was like.
But people have like these like assumptions that like that one language is better than the other, which is just not true. It's never been true ever for any scenario.
Yeah.
It's just what's available for what you need. Like the language is still doing the same thing no matter what language you're using. You're still declaring variables, you're still making methods, you're still doing the same logic. It's just through different syntax. It's the same thing as saying hello in different languages. They all mean hello, that you just do it differently. But that difference can be a lot, or it can be a little bit. But it doesn't matter. There's not like a good or worse option. It's just different. And like you see a bunch
do you read
of
Greek?
Caught up
Oh, that's Hebrew. That's Hebrew. You read Hebrew?
do not read Hebrew.
Shit.
Unfortunately, I can only read English, a little bit of German.
I'm gonna guess.
Japanese.
I'm gonna guess this is a big ass snake.
It says, "Don't tread on me."
You taking my guns?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. A demon being like, honestly, that would make a lot of sense. A demon being like, "Don't take my guns."
I've actually picked up Japanese, like the writing system. I'm picking it up.
I can do hiragana and katakana pretty easily. I
think katakana is the stupidest thing ever.
Well, you know the difference is like for Western words.
That's loan words, but like. I hate it.
But kanji's where I struggle because that's like that's like an entire culture's lifespan
that's
of
literally like
learning.
A never-ending journey.
Yeah,
like
for real.
No one knows all kanji. That's crazy. You know, like you know the ones you need to know.
Yeah.
It took me a while to like separate. Like, I mean, I've been learning Spanish for a year or so now. So at least I have like the hardest part about Spanish is like kind of trying to approach it with a blank slate of like assumptions or whatever. Like stop comparing it to English. You know what I mean? It's just its own thing.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like the letters, like just because a word looks similar or it looks something like language doesn't mean it's just different.
Yeah.
That's a really hard it was for me. This was like it's just different. You have to approach it with a fresh.
Yeah, 100%. The language.
But at least if the same writing system. But
The
Japanese is not.
the advice, yeah, the advice I give people when approaching a language is approach it as a baby, because I've learned 3 languages fluently. I have, you know,
for sure.
Spanish and Russian under my belt, and obviously English. And I know conversational Japanese. Like I could get around if I was lost.
I've just started Japanese like this month. And I can say real basic stuff.
I do really like the structure. I think Japanese is probably my favorite language structure I've ever, like, you know, learned or like attempted to learn.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
It's like such a, you can't really confuse what you're saying, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I think even Spanish is more strict than English when it comes to that. Like,
Russian's stricter than Spanish. It's awful. I hate it.
yeah, like English is trash. I hate English the more I learn other languages. Like,
You're like, wow, we really don't have any rules here, do we?
yeah, we're literally just like
A lawless wasteland.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think the Japanese stuff is really fun to learn so far.
Yeah.
It could be because it's so different.
Yeah,
Like,
it's always exciting to like, and again that satisfaction that you get whenever it clicks.
Yeah, it was nice. Like, I don't know, like, it's just a weird way to approach like speaking. Like the first thing they teach you is like I don't remember now. What was the sentence? I don't want to speak it 'cause I sound like an idiot.
Watashi no namae wa Jesse desu.
Yeah, stuff like that. Where you're just saying like my name is Jesse, or or just like literally like he is Ken, or something.
Yeah.
You don't say it like that in Japanese. It's
No,
so
they have
different.
slang. Yeah. Oh, you're saying the structure.
Like, you
Yeah.
start with a name, you know, and then like Don is like literally it's like a catch-all at this point for me for like respect, basically, like, you know, Mr., Mrs., whatever. San is just like you put it there, and
yeah. I also like that. What the fuck? Oh, you're skittering. What the fuck was that? I really enjoy how deska, like when they do the ka as a question. I think that's such a cool, like, I wish we had something like that where it's like you can tell when people are being sarcastic or not because they're not like asking the question for real. They're, I don't know, just
like, it's implied.
Yeah,
yeah, we apply it a lot of times, whereas Japanese is like, yeah, this is for sure a question. I'm gonna let you know that at the end of the sentence.
Exactly. I love that. Yeah.
Just wait for it. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my hardest, or one of my biggest issues, like phonetically, is like, I can't remember what you call these sounds, but like the word for like person, like hito, like when you're like a Japanese speaker, when they speak it, that he is so weird.
Yeah, they don't do a lot of their H's. It's kind of
there's a word for it. I looked it up because I was really curious, and there's actually a bunch of sounds in Japanese and a lot of Asian languages in general. And they're basically like, they're not guttural, it's something else entirely, but like, you almost don't make a sound with it. It's almost just air. And it's really common in Asian languages, but we do not do it in English whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's one of like the big, that'll be like one of your big tells as a foreigner, they say, is those sounds, like we'll put more emphasis on the sounds, where they'll put more emphasis on the air of it, basically. So like when I was hearing like the word hito, it almost sounds like they're saying like shito, like just a sh sound, like they're blowing in the air.
Yeah.
And it still throws me off. I still have to like double listen all the times. But it's cool. It's a cool language. Like I think like watashi, and then like you just add like no
watashi.
Or like
Oh yeah.
or, like,
Yeah. That's what I was talking about when I said I love the way they structure.
It's just nice. Like it's almost like. It's really like, it's not like math, but it's almost like, I don't know, it's like you're adding little pieces together, which is all language, but it's so
just
much
very
more,
structured,
like, very compact. Like it's very like, because it's all like, you know, sound like syllables. So I don't know, it's just fun to like to put it all together. I can't even tell you a sentence right now, but like, I'm still very early in. I've learned all the base hiragana. And I've learned most of like the alternative sounds you make when you have a quotation to the symbols. Like, you know, like the K sounds become a G sound.
Yes.
And then like S becomes Z, unless it's the Chi, which then becomes like G for whatever stupid reason. So I've been learning all those still. And then like I've learned like the only kanji I've learned is for Ichi, Ni, and San. And then I've learned Yaka, Ta, and Gucci. I think that's all I've learned. which are just mostly for the names, like Yamaguchi or Tanaka,
Mm-hmm.
because those are super common surnames. And I thought it was, because I know like kanji is like meant to like, it's meant to try to represent what it's talking about usually. So like ta is like 4 squares basically.
Yeah.
Like a. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
meant
you're
to,
talking about yeah.
I think it means fields is what it means basically, like in Japanese. And it's meant to represent how farming, like a patch of farming fields, looks together. It's just like 4 plots of land. So I think it's cool, the idea.
Oh yeah,
Of, like,
100%.
the symbol representing what it's trying to talk
It's
about.
just crazy, like how much it
It's
is
just
there.
like the people who were like seeing these things must have been like partially blind or something. You know? Like,
Some of it is a little crazy.
some
Like
of them are like, oh yeah, that's for sure. Like that's definitely a person.
yeah, but then there's like water, which is like almost like a corrugate.
It's just nonsense, you know. Like it's. I think what they were trying at first, like, yeah, we should make unique symbols that represent everything. They're like, yeah, but that's really hard. So they're like, you know, it just like throw something down half the time, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think kanji will be one of those things that I just like enjoy over time.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of signs in Japan typically do have like the kanji and then they have the hiragana underneath it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, I don't know if this is like a foreigner thing being pushed or if it is also being pushed like natively in Japan. But I've seen so many things talking how like they're trying to make hiragana like the default way because it is true Japanese, like because kanji is borrowed.
It's China. Yeah, China. Yep.
Because Japanese was
Or
always spoken.
yeah, they were like.
So when they discovered writing, it was from China, so they adopted Chinese symbols to their own language. And like hiragana came after.
I agree.
So there's like a bit of there's like a small section of people.
Well, I've heard it is going away with the youth.
Yeah, people are pushing for hiragana to become the main system more, because it's a like, you know, unique to Japanese, whereas kanji is borrowed.
Yeah, like
I don't think it'll ever go away entirely, but like it might. Who knows? I don't know. Languages are so. That's one thing I've also learned about languages as I've been learning. It was they are so fluid.
They evolve and they change and they.
Yeah, someone who speaks English now, you know, can't communicate with someone who spoke English 200 years ago hardly.
Yeah, I watched this one guy on TikTok who's like a linguist and he studies like ancient languages, and I listened to him like break down like how like Old English was actually spoken.
Oh,
brother,
yeah,
that shit's like
it's literally like
it's like German. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's pre-German.
You literally can't. It's like not even the same thing. There are like some words you'll be able to pick up, but like
yeah,
and everything was pronounced a lot weirder.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of the silent letters we have now were not silent. They were there for a reason, and a lot of the silent stuff you hear, or like the different variations, are because of like literally because someone who wrote it down misspelled it, and that was the only version that was available to read. So like certain words are spelled the way they are because of typos that these stupid monks couldn't like get right, and they're like, well, what's done is done, and this is how we're gonna spell it from now on. And they would like print it, and that was now the way you wrote that word down. So, yeah, it was just like so many different cultures inspired English over the years. It's crazy.
It is.
Whereas like Japanese or like German even, maybe not German, but Japanese is very like contained, right? They didn't have any influences outside of it. And when they did, they were like, okay, but we're gonna have to it would be even harder to learn. It's different.
God, you scared me.
We'll just throw it together.
Oh, hello. So, sorry, Joanna came in and scared me to death.
You're fun. It's a creepy atmosphere in this fight.
Well, yeah, and then like the way that like my PC is, it's like the hallway's like right over the right corner of my PC, so it's like really because I have like a really wide screen, and So she came like crawling out, not crawling out, but like to me, crawling out of the fucking darkness. So as I'm focusing on this fight, something else is coming from my peripheral.
Yeah, like fight or flight response.
Yeah.
Came out. Yeah, I think language is really, you know what, if I could go back to like high school and choose a career path, I'd probably go linguist, honestly.
Oh yeah, that's what I originally was gonna do. The first
Like,
language I learned was Russian, and then we got into this big war, and I was like, oh, you know what?
yeah,
Probably don't want to be seen as a spy.
yeah, it's such a fun, like, even just
It's
like,
rewarding too. It's another thing that's just like really rewarding.
I love the history of language. I think it's so fascinating. I wish I would have gone to school for it. You know, like, that level of like, passion. I love it. I'm not like particularly good at speaking other languages yet, but I'm learning, and I think, but again, the history of it is what fascinates me. I love the idea of how languages can come to be. I think it's just so crazy. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I also love that, like, it's so cool how like all languages that formed separately from each other still convey the same basic ideas across humans.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the fact they can be translated into each other is kind of a crazy thing too.
It's innately human kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Even though like these cultures would be completely separated, they still were human, right? They still were trying to communicate the same way.
I think that's something I always tell people is like the biggest reward of like learning languages is that like you kind of break a lot of stereotypical boundaries with that when you
there's so many barriers.
You learn that these people are not what you hear they are just humans.
Because if you can't communicate with them, you can't be told otherwise.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm not saying it's entirely wrong, but I think a lot of propaganda around China is crazy. I know for sure that a lot of propaganda around North Korea is also crazy. Not about maybe some of those people, but like the normal citizens. A lot of that stuff is so over the top, and we just can't know otherwise because we can't, you know, maybe speak Chinese.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, on their behalf, they have like no access to the outside world.
I'm talking about like, you know, the people.
No, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, on the people's behalf, they literally are cut off from the outside world.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, the language is such a huge, and you know, maybe it's intentional. You know, like that is part of it. Is like we could easily have like a universal language. I think English is pretty close to that. It is the mathematical universal language, but and engineering as well. But like, I think by having that barrier there, it helps create that the division that these governments may want there to be sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a helpful tool when they need it. You know, if that's gone, it would be harder to convince people that these people are not your friends, because you know you can be able to talk to them like, hey, you good? And yeah, we were good. Yeah, we're not bad. It's all it takes. It's a really I think language is really cool. I think it would be a cool thing to study, and I want to try to implement it into games at some point because I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite things in No Man's Sky is the language system.
Oh yeah, that is fun. Yeah.
I love that system. I think it's so fun. It's so stupid, but I love it. I think Spanish is okay so far. I don't love Spanish, honestly, but I like it more than English. I think Spanish is nice because it's very consistent so far. Like, there's no chance that this sound is going to sound differently, ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, so permanent. And I think Spanish is also pretty much, like, it's one of those languages that hasn't changed much in history.
Yeah.
It's pretty consistent. Like, English changes, like, literally every freaking decade, but Spanish has pretty much been Spanish since it's been Spanish. Like, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not completely sure about... I know German has changed a good amount, but not a ton like English has.
How the fuck did I miss that statue at the beginning of this? What the hell? It's a dark room.
Because of the blanket on it.
No, I think it's because when I see a dark room, I always travel by the wall like I would in real life. I wouldn't wanna try to just get lost in a room, you know? Being in complete darkness is something that's so rare I've only had it happen like twice in my life, but both times I was set in like a primal fear.
The one time I've been in actual true darkness was in Cathedral Caverns, that giant cave system,
Yeah.
like in going towards Huntsville.
Yep.
If you ever take the tour, they'll do it for you. It's really crazy. The tour ends at like this one really deep area of the cave, like probably like almost a mile into it. And they'll ask you before they do it if you want it or not. But if you want them to, they'll turn off all the lights in the cave for a moment and just let you experience like it's not dark. It's beyond dark.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like nothingness. Yeah, it's like a void.
yeah, it's literally like you almost feel like you're floating for a second.
Yeah.
Because there's no light. There's no light from the sun. There's no light from electronics.
And it's crazy, like how.
It's so disorienting, dude.
It's crazy how like how you start to pick up on sounds you didn't even know were there at that point.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not getting like I'm not getting like Daredevil level of like you just oh you're the Sin Titan, but you only have that to rely on. So
yeah, it immediately starts kicking up. Yeah, it's. I don't think it wasn't scary for Cynthia. Kind of panicked a little bit. A lot of people did actually. I didn't panic immediately, but I definitely felt uneasy about it. It was like, okay,
not comfortable.
like, okay, this is cool, but let's get these lights back on. We have them for a reason. But yeah, it was unsettling. I'd never had experienced pitch darkness like that before.
One time I woke up at Alex's house in a little box because he had a pull-out couch, and I was just in literally like a box that was only like my body size, kind of like I had woken up in like a coffin or some shit, and like yeah, and it was completely dark because of how it was built, But it was where it's where the bed rested whenever it wasn't pulled out. So I was horrified. I had no idea where I was, so I started like screaming. I was like, Alex, where are you?
That's multiple. That's like
multiple components. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely am like a bit claustrophobic for sure.
I'm not claustrophobic. It's just waking up like that, not being where you were.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of like being stuck. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like,
I could deal with if I had light, I'm okay with like claustrophobia, but yeah, bro, I'll tell you, that's another thing about Subnautica, dude. You'll get disoriented while traveling in caves sometimes, and you'll be like, I don't know where I'm at. I'm about to run out of oxygen. There's so many like components to it.
Yeah, like I was gonna mention like cave diving and.
I would never do that shit. The ones where they do like the narrow shit, that's crazy.
That's actually like suicidal.
Yeah.
You're literally asking for it at that point.
We'll be together soon. Anyway, bro, you probably should get to bed, dude. It's like.
Yeah, it's like 1 p.m. Dang.
You're gonna die.
Alright, man. Well, I'll be on tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll hit you up whenever I wake up.
If you.
And I definitely will be up by 11 because I've got to take my son there, and I just got to take my son there for like 30 minutes. So if I don't get up earlier, I'll hit you up around 12.
Alright, I pick up something like at 5 tomorrow, so anytime after 12 to 5, we can chill tomorrow, but
Yep.
Yeah, maybe take a look at this, like take a look at the PDF at least like go over like literally the first page.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It goes over the simple philosophy thing. Let me find where it is. Page.
Wait, there's pages?
Oh, yeah, it's a book.
Oh no! No, I'm just kidding.
Page 8 of 99.
Oh shit. What's up, Andrew? Yeah, I'll check it out, man, and then I'll hit you up whenever I get home. I'll read it while I'm waiting on my son to get done with speech therapy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a big read. It's just gonna go over like what solid is and what solid means. There's a component of speech. There's also some like cool diagrams and also some like example scripts that show what they're trying to tell you, which is really cool.
Yeah. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, they're jumping. They're jumping now, these legs are jumping.
Chill. Talk about what you think about it.
Yeah, like I said, I'll download them on my phone tonight and just read them while I'm waiting on my son to get done with therapy.
There are some videos, by the way, if you prefer video format, on the Unity YouTube channel. They have like a whole playlist that go over these exact concepts in video format. I did not like them personally. I thought they were bad. So
Yeah, I think I'm
they were
more of
hard.
a
They were hard to
visual learner.
follow.
I think you're more of a like reading into it yourself kind.
Well, I just think their example they use is so confusing for no
Mm.
reason. Like, it wasn't even about like it was such a weird example script, like the scenario they were creating. It was really like a vague concept that they could use something more tangible and they didn't for whatever reason.
Tangerine.
So I didn't like it. If you want the playlist,
You just go ahead. Yeah, you can just send it and I'll pin it all in the
I
chat.
had it pulled up earlier actually. I was going over this again. This might be it. Pattern. Unity actually has a pretty good YouTube channel, by the way.
Yeah, I follow him.
Subjects and there's some good stuff. Did you see they completely removed their runtime fee recently?
Did what now?
Like their runtime fee, like a lot of their pricing is gone now. They got
No,
rid of
they're
a
not.
lot of it. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's good. I
I
mean,
mean, like,
Oh.
it's obviously in response to what happened, you know?
Yeah.
But,
oh my god.
yeah, it's actually like, it's kind of making Unreal, like, kind of like, I bet they're kind of sweating. Honestly,
Yeah, your move. Yeah, Unreal's pretty expensive, but I think the thing that really pissed people off was that it was so like out of nowhere, and it was based on like downloads, so you could just like hate fucking download it and like you know the same thing people do with like what is that called, review bombing? You could like download bomb a game and then get these devs charged
it was
to
like
put out.
crazy to do what they were gonna do.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was mad about paying.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know what they were thinking, and they don't either. They fired the dude.
Yeah,
but I think for a lot of people it's too little, too late. You know, like it's already done the damage, sadly. But yeah, their new policy, like the new like monetization policy, is actually really good. It's better than Unreal's for sure, like by a lot. So, which I think is great. This might be where I was looking. This playlist is like a pretty good one. It's gonna have all the videos I was talking about, plus a lot of other random crap. Actually has a cool shader video I watched, yeah. Oh, I found out what happened to those old projects, by the way. You know, we were talking about the outline shader that I couldn't find. Yeah, so when I got my new computer, I gave Cynthia my old one, and when she got it, I helped her wipe it for herself to use it. And yeah, they were on that computer, and they were gone forever. I completely wiped that computer, and that's where they were. They're gone. Months of work. I think I have a couple of my old games, like on Discord, as like demo files, thankfully.
Yeah.
But that was on, of course.
It's alright, man. You get to do better ones soon.
The way I was building that little idle game is so bad. Going back to it now, it was actually trash. But it still was pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah, it was cool. We made a lot of progress.
I could definitely build it faster and better now, for sure. Alright, I find the link. That's just a good playlist in general there. But if you scroll down on that playlist I sent you there, like pretty far, you'll find some videos saying like pattern combo, object pool combo. So like there's all the pattern stuff down near the bottom of it. Factory, command, model view, all these different things. They're worth checking out for sure. Or you just read the document, it's the same thing. So. Anyway, I will catch you later.
See you, dog. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Hello.
What's up, man? It just interrupted.
I felt bad, but the moment you said, yeah, hop on in, I joined.
Oh, was
But
it?
when you guys were talking about languages, he has good points on languages.
About what?
I mean, you both did. just like how a lot of them have just changed throughout the ages and how
Oh yeah. See, I thought you joined around the time Andrew did.
no.
Oh, it's in a certain order. Damn, I didn't know that. Fuck. There we go. Okay. Well, I just saved, so I'm gonna save one more time and then. So I just step in? Sorry, I just accidentally fucking killed the power. So I'm about to be haunted. Alright. No, I can go. Andrew, you gonna play Barrow Trauma with us?
What is it?
Barrow Trauma?
I never like. What is it?
No, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
We'll figure it out. You'll see it.
Do I have
Yes, you have to pay for it.
No.
I told you he wouldn't pay for